Welcome on into the Barbershop. I know I'm a couple minutes late, but the devil tried to get me this morning. He tried to get rid of all my files today. I was pulling up, I was putting stuff in, and all of a sudden, oh, we don't got no audio on this? Oh, we don't got no audio? Nah, you ain't getting me. Run that right back. Took me a couple minutes to get it all back, but you know it got to be important if I had to run it back because I could just go off the top of my head, but I don't want to do that today because I want to get into something very specific. I want to talk about some things that I've been seeing going around, hanging out. And we're going to do it right here on the Barbershop. We appreciate everybody where you're at. Welcome on in Facebook. Welcome on in Twitter. Welcome on in YouTube, UCSS. We got a lot to get to. See, sometimes I'm on a couple of platforms. See, a lot of people will say, G. Bush, I be wanting you to do this and I be wanting you to do that, man. A lot of people, because, and shout out to them, UCSS is a big platform. The Barbershop is a big platform. But a lot of people don't know I'm everywhere. I'm doing multi places. I'm on Sports for CLE every single Friday for up to an hour. And so what I want to show people is there's a different perspective out there that you may not be seeing. Sometimes in the industry, and I get it, people got jobs and lives and different things, so they patronize and watch one thing. That may be their favorite show. But there was a different opinion. There's a different thought process. There's a different material and information out there. And sometimes you just may miss it. Sometimes you ain't informed. And then when you're watching one thing all the time and you get caught in watching the perspective of just a couple of people here, or the people here that you watch a lot, or the people here that you may trust, or the people here that you may, indulge, sometimes you could be an individual that miss some of this information and some of these receipts and some of this content that be out here. That's why I always tell people be on the Barbershop, G. Bush, why don't you talk about the Browns? I said, what do you mean, why don't I talk about the Browns? I'm on the Bleacher Report app doing Browns updates. And when I do Browns updates, I'm talking about transactions. I'm talking about injury report. I'm previewing the football game this week. I'm talking about the week that was. I'm talking about all of the different nuances, whether it's stats, statistics that point to certain things, breakdowns. I do that it's 3 minutes long. If you got the Bleacher Report app, all you got to do is search Cleveland Browns and my reports come out. I'd be confused. I say, what you mean? You want me to do some extra stuff? You only talk about Shador. False. Maybe that's the only thing you watch. Go watch. Hey, by the way, I'm on Sports for CLE every single Friday. Every single Friday. And we talk about a smorgasbord of everything on Sports for CLE. Talking about all we got, right? So what I'm meaning to say is today what we're going to do is we're going to get you some of the opinions, and I want to get to some of this other content, and we're going to talk about a lot. And one of the things that we're going to talk about today, and the way that I do is I got to break it down for you. One thing Tyvis Powell said to me about 3 years ago, and I laughed at him. I'm like, come on, bro. He's like, I ain't no media member. I'm an athlete. I just do media. And we used to laugh at him like, Tyvis, if you in this game long enough, you a media member. What are you talking about, bro? You work for the Big Ten Network. You work for the Browns Radio Network. You work for UCSS. You work for the Fan down in Columbus, bro. You got 17 jobs. What are you talking about? You part of the media. I never understood what he meant. And for the first time, I understood what he was talking about this week. We'll break it down and tell you why I came to the conclusion that Tyvis Powell is right. There's a difference between people who are just journalists or media members and people that are former players. And we'll tell you the difference between the two of those individuals. Today, this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one because we're going to get to the echo chamber. Sometimes you could be listening to this stuff and you listen to it so much and you think you're in an alternate universe. You're like, what are we talking about right here? Did I just not see what I saw the other day? Did I not see? Granted, I'll throw this out here. Why when you turn the television on and you see people talking about the Cleveland Browns and you see the way they talk about the Bears game, why is it that the Bears game is the only game that people saw? You see how this thing worked? The Titans game didn't count. That never happened. But then again, I told y'all, how this was moving, right? The goalpost and the way media works is, man, when people start saying enough of something, it almost brainwashes you into thinking that you was the one that's tripping and losing your mind. That you the only person that saw somebody throw for 300 some odd yards, right? 360, break records. And then all of a sudden, by the next week, that never counted. I'm seeing people glitch out and crash out in real time. Crash out in real time. I need to see people tackle people. I want to see them make that tack. Stop. This is what we're talking about. But today, we're going to show you. Let's see past the echo chamber. There's a completely different world out there depending on the source. We'll come back and we'll tackle that on this episode. In the morning, get your coffee ready to go, because you should feel very good after this episode, because it's going to make you feel like, you know what? Maybe I'm not crazy. And we're going to do it right here on the Barbershop. Welcome on in. Let's get it going. You see, the Cleveland Browns is playing the Buffalo Bills this week. And as I was going down through my job for the UCSS, I was on the panel this week, and I thought I had it was a very funny week this week, because I can't understand why I can look at certain things, and I'm trying to figure out the level of despair, or why people have this level of despair in their stomach. I don't understand it. I feel as if the level of despair wasn't in your stomach when Dylan Gabriel was playing, but there's this level of underlying angst, this level of your confusion. You're grasping at straws. You're just looking for anything. And I'm saying, well, listen, we always knew that there would be ups and downs and growing pains with rookie quarterbacks, but I didn't see you with those same level of growing pain angst when Dylan Gabriel was playing. I don't know. When Joe Flacco was playing and he didn't play very well, you said, well, what did you expect? This team wasn't very good. And that was when Joe Flacco, a veteran, was playing. Now, all of a sudden, every single game, you got to make a life and death analysis, and every week it flip-flops. He's the guy. Oh, he played pretty good this week. Oh, no, he's not the guy. He didn't play well again. He's the guy. He didn't play well this weekend. I think he did. And guys, you know what this is? And because people be on platforms and they be hearing all these echo chambers and doing all this stuff, they'll make you think that is the overarching and overwhelming opinion by those who actually watched, played, experienced, or had any part of the game. You see, what you've been exposed to right now is a point where our population has gotten to a point where there are less and less and less and less people in the general population that have ever put it on a cleat, have ever went through a two-a-day, have ever caught a football, have ever played flag football, have ever played with a Nerf Turbo, have ever tackled another grown man, have ever had a broken arm, broken leg, ran gassers, threw up too much, because you're getting to the point in society where sports and analytics kind of collided. And what they told people was, actually, the people that really know what's going on in sports are the people that never did anything with it. How does that work? Then the people that went to MIT, Harvard, Yale, Brown, Colgate, Columbia, all of a sudden, those were the guys with their EPAs and shares, and those are the guys that really knew. And when you watch the game, it ain't about what you saw. It's about what the numbers say after we extrapolate them. Them are the same people that bankrupted America 3-4 times. Them the same people that you keep putting in office, and they keep raising your taxes, and you ain't even got no money. It's funny how them folks are great at dominating society, and you still ain't caught on. You think that they got a better ACT score than you, they are the deities that can fix the world. When I ask you, why don't you just pay attention to your eyes, my good boys and girls? Huh? So let's talk about this. Sometimes I'm on the show and it feels like, oh, dang, what alternate universe are you guys living in? And as the thumbnail says, are you watching these games? Are you watching some of the same stuff every week that I'm watching? I'm convinced some of y'all is just watching the 10-minute the condensed version. You can't be seeing some of the same things that I'm seeing. And that is why it's important to present different material from other different places to show you that sometimes when you get in the echo chamber, you got people that start paying attention to one person. Oh, I don't want to be different from him, so let me just start echoing it. Let's get together and conglomerate. I feel the same way you do. I feel the same way you do. And then all of a sudden, you start bouncing back and forth, and the only thing you can hear is false and negative information that is built on your feelings, your emotions, your insecurities, and what you don't know. That ain't a good place to be. And the problem with the local Cleveland media is when you lose so long and you've been bad so long, I can even respect you as a decent fan base if you will see a winner. But you ain't seen a winner in 1989 in so long. You ain't seen no good quarterback play in so long that you don't even know what it looked like. So now you definitely 2 stories off. So you didn't play. You don't be watching the games like that. And you live in an echo chamber where everybody else is just echoing the same BS that we all talked about. Sorry, I'm just going to keep it real with you, bro. That is why the longer and longer and longer you get away from the real and the people that understand, the crazier it seems. They have no, ask them specifically. I need pinpoint specifics what you're doing. What did you like about this play? They can't tell you because they didn't watch it. My coach used to always tell me, if you eating buffalo wings and enjoying a meal with more than 3 people, you ain't watching no football game. If you ain't one of them that tell your wife, I got every day but Sunday, don't you be in my ear talking about what we want to do for Christmas, what you want for Thanksgiving, running around talking about we got to go to the store. That's on you today. I don't care how you get it done. You ain't watching no football. If your child is around your ankles 24 hours a day talking about let's go down here and do When I came up, my dad told me, hey, we ain't doing none of that today. You know it's Sunday. Don't even trip. Sunday, we going to church. We're going to be out by this time, and we're going to be watching these games. Ain't no let me turn the channel to see what's on. A lot of y'all dudes be in that house. Y'all got y'all's wives turning the TV. What she got the remote for? Ain't that why you got 9 TVs in the house? I got 10 TVs. There's never a reason you should be. Look, my house is childproof. Oh, you got the grandkids over? Oh, you got niece and nephew? Yeah, don't even worry about that. You got a TV in your own room. It's soundproof up there. You turn it on, jump on the bed, do whatever. My mom want to watch Home and Gardening. She got a whole, she upstairs by herself. Yeah, go ahead, do that. Go ahead, do that. Hey, the credit card on the table. The credit card on the table. If you need to get some food, DoorDash is down the street. But there needs to be no conversation with me outside of these walls of what we talking about. And y'all dudes be watching these games, ordering food, talking on your phone, texting, getting your fantasy lineup, putting parlays together on FanDuel, talking to, looking around, talking about I'm going to the man cave a little bit. Let me get my fishing rod out. You ain't watching no football games. It's evident. So let's talk about it and get to it. 1,100 people in here, wherever you at, hit that like button. I know it might be done before everybody. We're going to get to it. Now, everybody know. Let's start with this. There has been a movement in which will be X'd and done with today. Let me tell you something. There's 2 things I know. Offensive line play, defensive line play. I've dedicated most of my life in the trenches. No disrespect to a lot of different people, just like an astrophysicist, just like an astronomer, just like a chemical engineer that has levels of precise acumen when it comes to and years of understanding and nuance, I will not take a back seat in secondary position of, I'm not asking none of y'all about no offensive defensive lineman. I'm just not. I'm just let you know that right now. If you can't block me, you can't tell me nothing about it. You line up and let me line up. Can you block me? No. Well, I'm gonna just let you sit back here. You sit right there and I'm gonna educate you. If I gotta believe your opinion, you got to at least bench 225. If you can't put 225 on that bar and rep that out, I need you to have multiple seats. If you can't reach block me and stop me in no pass rush, we ain't got nothing to talk about. And it's only a couple of them that can get that off. Maybe a Phil Taylor, Joe Thomas. There's only a couple of them right now that's still even active. And guess what? They know who they is. But when it comes to this trench warfare, the one thing that we not gonna do, don't you be pulling out no numbers and no mumbo jumbo and the pulling your abacus out and talking about how much time they had, and if you move this number, carry the 5, and it's A squared plus B squared equals C squared, but then it's 3.14 the radius in the circumference of the pocket means Shedeur Sanders should have the most time of all time to throw the football, meaning that he has, by the transitive property, the same level of acumen as the Buffalo Bills line. Even shut up. We will not, on G. Bush's watch, try to insinuate that this line is good in any way, shape, or form. Out of nowhere, we won't be doing that. So the first exhibit A is, let me show you that there's people around here that kind of understand exactly what I'm saying too. This is courtesy of Sports for CLE. I'm on every Friday. Make sure you check it out. Every Friday I'm on. Make sure you check it out. And they got callers. The callers pull up and they say, G. Bush, why we so weak up front? Why we so weak?
Right to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Year after year, we see just tons of pre-snap penalties. You got to blame that on the coaching. You can't blame that on talent. You don't need to be an athlete of the highest order to line up correctly and to remember a snap count. And how the hell did our offensive line become so weak without the Browns' brain trust having known that? Don't those blocking sleds have, like, force sensors in them or something? Aren't they tracking all of this data with all their analytics?
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. Let's welcome in Garrett Bush from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and the Barbershop. And, G. Bush, man, I can't argue with any of that. You know what? The offensive line was neglected. It was hurt last year, and you thought, oh, it'll be better, and they're hurt again. So that tells you they're old.
I was listening. I give him credit for the shout out to Quincy Carrier. Now, look, I come on here, and all of a sudden, we got folks talking good sense. Oh, hold on. There is a Browns fan out here who understands that our offensive line has been terrible for the last 6 years. We do have a fan that understands that. Man, how hard is it to get guys to line up and not jump off sides? And by the way, have you not seen that these guys have been going downhill? You see, sometimes you just got to figure out where the information is other places to get it. And when you in an echo chamber, everybody ain't crazy. Sometimes it's groupthink involved. And you come away having conversations with people like, who the heck? Are they watching the same Cleveland Browns games on Sundays that I am? Am I? Well, no. It's just the fact that there are people out there that understand it, and it's not in this game where all of a sudden we playing fantasy football stuff. By the way, the boy G. Bush had that green boy on yesterday. That was crazy. That great Christmas tree outfit was crazy. It was wild, underrated. Let's keep going. He was doing a little blog, and he talked about
All of
And
this data with all that.
and by the way, I'm not a hater. I ain't no. Let's see. I get credit where credit. I ain't no hater, bro. I mentioned and shout out all kind of people that be doing their thing. I'm gonna stop cutting it off. Here we go.
For analytics.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. Let's welcome in Garrett Bush from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show and the Barbershop. And gee, Bushman, I can't argue with any of that. You know what? The offensive line was neglected. It was hurt last year, and you thought, oh, it'll be better, and they're hurt again. So that tells you they're old.
I was listening. I give him credit for the shout out to Quincy Carrier. He was doing a little blog, and he talked about the Cleveland Browns offensive line, and I couldn't agree more. The Cleveland Browns offensive line has been in decline for 3 years. They haven't done much to address it, and the guys that they brought in to address it have not helped out. Zach Zenner has been a healthy scratch a lot of those times. We just now seeing a little bit of Luke Whippler, but take a look at some of the people they brought in. Jack Conklin is older. Wyatt Teller has been banged up. He's gotten older. Joe Batonio has been a good player for a long time here. But right now he doesn't have the same level of power that they used to have, right? A lot of what the Cleveland Browns were in 2020 and 2021, we're kind of remembering those things, but this offense has been in decline for a very long time. And I couldn't agree more with what the caller's saying. It's the power. Watch it on the film. You go back and we do film reviews, and I was talking with Tyvis Powell, and they're not displacing bodies. They're not moving people. They're not getting guys. They're not changing the line of scrimmage. Not only are defensive linemen standing this up, linebackers don't respect our power level. Linebackers are standing guys up in the hole. Linebackers are being more physical at the point of attack. And you just watch a lot of times Quinshon Judkins getting hit within a couple of steps or a step or two within getting the football. And sometimes it's in the middle, sometimes it's outside rushers, sometimes defensive ends, sometimes it's linebackers. Right now the offensive front is not good, period. They're just, and the thing I worry about the most is this, as I watch this stuff on film. We hear the quarterback conversation and we talk about quarterbacks, and we're going to get to it, and it's going to be a long conversation. But when you watch these guys on film, and we're talking about potentially having to package picks or drafting another quarterback, when you don't have linemen that are even good under your roster now, we don't have anybody signed, period. So I know we think that, if we draft guys, we're going to get Josh Allen and Joe Burrow in the draft somewhere, and they're going to come in and make a difference. But I'm here to tell you, if your quarterback the last 2 weeks is your leading rusher against the Titans and the Bears, and these are scrambles, these ain't, designed quarterback runs, I don't care who you bring in. This is tough to say, but you're not going to be out here moving around and you're rushing for 20 some odd yards. And we are here, right, because we've invested a ton in the quarterback room. 3rd round pick quarterback, 5th round pick, you moved up to get him quarterback. 230 some odd million guaranteed in the quarterback that they already told you was going to be on the roster again next year. Can the Browns afford to package picks and then again, or not even package, use one of your highest assets, which is a 1st round pick, on another quarterback, and you already have invested so heavily in that position group when the offensive line is just, I don't know how you could field a football team and expect it to be good if you keep neglecting the offensive line. Again, we're not just talking about, the Browns this, the Browns that. The problem is with the Cleveland Browns, and I'll say it like this. Let's get to it. You throw this in here. Neil Gray. Jason and Jay spend the entire day using suspect data to discredit a 5th round rookie with his 3rd start when he broke NFL records. Now it's analytics. That's the thing we're going to get to as well. You can, like, the fact that I don't need to go around and get no analytics. Right? I don't need to say, for sure, you people, right now, statistically, he's the worst quarterback out of all the quarterbacks. Well, statistically, I just seen him do something in NFL history they ain't did. And the problem with this is a lot of people let you get this off because they also did the same thing about his college stats. They did the same thing about his college stats, right? that we talked about this. Well, he's Johnny Unitas. That doesn't mean nothing. Most accurate. That doesn't mean nothing. Doesn't mean nothing's going to translate. Okay. Well, he was up for the Heisman. Whatever. That doesn't matter. A lot of people are. Then he comes and breaks records and does stuff that nobody else do, and then that's just gone. See, they showed you what they was going to do anyway. That happened against the Panthers. The Panthers game, he balled out. He threw the football. Only thing they talked about is the Rams game. See, but here's how this thing works. Here's how this thing works. Let me show you this. The media equals a kid in a candy store with no money. Browns need food for dinner, but we only want to eat candy. Now, let me give you a quick little story here. Back in the day, see, my mama never really let me go into stores like that anyway. Because unlike mothers today, shout out to the moms today, that good ones, she already knew what her son was about. She knew what we was on. She knew that we got paid on Wednesday, and it was the off Wednesday, which means we was trying to go in these stores, and it wasn't nowhere near payday. She had in her mind $10 she was going to spend to make a pot of something. Now, let me know if y'all know about a pot of something. A pot of something ain't really even a dish. A pot of something is something that is going to go in that pot that's going to stretch, that's going to feed 5 to 7, and it's going to make you full so you can lay down and do it again. Somebody put a 1 in the chat if you know about a pot of something. When we went to that store, that she was going to get maybe some ground beef. She was going to get stretchers, right? I mean, for all y'all, they ain't have it. For all y'all's grandmothers, moms out there, when you know what the stretcher is, you're going to get you some beans. You can stretch it with some noodles. You can stretch it with some potatoes. And you can always, shout out to the Filipinos, shout out to the black people in the South, shout out to all the people in the South. You know you could put a side of rice with anything, and that's going to stretch everything out regardless. Or you go get you 2-3 slices of that white bread and put it with whatever you got. That's a stretcher. But she knew what she needed to get in order to make it to next check. It was already determined. She already understood what it was, and she was thinking about necessities. Now, how many times have you ever gone in that store and she told you before you got in there, listen, I'm going to let you in this store, but don't you ask for nothing. We coming to get X, Y, and Z. It's the reason they put all the candy and cookies and everything in the checkout line, because it's your one last opportunity to go in here and ask for something so you can get slapped in the face. So your mama give you was good the whole time in the store. You refrained from asking for something, but the store sets you up. Don't put all these nice gummy bears and everything right up in here, right next to me. So you know good and well my mama just scrounging in that purse trying to figure it out. And you go, can I get some of these wacky, crazy gummy bears? And she look at you like you done call somebody out their name, and she whispers to you under her teeth and don't let register. Boy, if you don't put that down, oh, I know something. Never mind, don't say nothing. When she say never mind, don't say nothing, you like, dang, you put it, you drop it like it was hot. Yeah, I was tripping. I was losing my mind. I knew. I was just seeing how much you had left in your purse. Long story short, you knew you went to the store because you needed food and you needed some sustenance. You needed something to get you through to the week. That candy ain't gonna get it done. You eating them little gummy bears and them little Starbursts and Skittles, no matter how good they is, that ain't gonna do nothing for you at 8 o'clock when your stomach is growling, because that little candy ain't gonna get it done. The problem with the Cleveland Browns is the media is a kid in the candy store, in a grocery store with no money. That's what I learned. That's why your mom didn't want you to go in there, because she knew you didn't have no money. He knew you wasn't supposed to be getting nothing, and we didn't have no time for it. But we, in our media, in our local media, we running around. You know what we want? We know you need food for the week. You trying to get you Starburst and cookies and candy. That's a quarterback. You always trying to get that cheap sugar high. You want to run around and munch on fun stuff to eat. You want to eat some fruit by the foot. You want to eat all kind of Snickers bars and candy bars. You know what? That ain't gonna get it done. You need some food. You know good and well the Cleveland Browns ain't got what they need to get on this offensive line. You know good and well you ain't got no receivers to move nothing by. You know good and well. How is it that you can see that, but yet and still ask yourself and to advocate that you want something else? You're hungry, but you want to eat cereal all the time. Little kid mentality. It's little kid mentality. And you know what the little kid mentality is brought to you by? Ignorance, not knowing, not understanding. There is a difference between metaphors and real rap, and it's a difference between them people that put their hand in that dirt. It's a lot of quarterbacks that done got hit. Shout out to Brian Hoyer. It's a lot of quarterbacks that be talking about, hey, you need to go ahead and get your alignment. You know why? Because they didn't actually have to deal with the consequences of not having one. Bernie Kosar talking about the guys up front all the time. You know why he talk about it so much? Because he didn't have 70-some-odd concussions. See, there's physical ramifications of those who understand and those who have done. I'm a defensive lineman. My brother is a Division I offensive lineman. I know how intimate, I know how well it works. Let me see somebody up front that ain't got no offensive line, and I can get after the quarterback plus stop the run because I'm bigger, better, stronger than anybody up front. I'm going to stop the run by myself. You're not going to win. But for those who don't know the feeling of having every one of your fingers being mangled, dislocated, broken, put back into place, and you go back into the game, and you 17, oh, you wouldn't understand that, would you? The things that players have done to them, you would call off work. I remember the first time I was like 14. I dislocated my finger. My finger is pointing that way. I came off panicking. I couldn't breathe and nothing. They said, son, get over here. You say, G. Bush, what are you doing? My finger. Look at my finger. My finger was going all this way. My finger. He was like, hold on. Come here. Before I could even say something, he was like, let me see that. Put that boy back in. He said, man, take that up and get your big butt back in this football game. I was 14. See, there's levels to when you understand what the game is, and then guess what? I grew up, when that happened, I was a whole totally different dude. I went home, man, I was even talking different. I came home and was automatically just became an OG, big brother. I used to be playing around in the floor with my little brother, doing all kind of stuff. I came home after my finger got dislocated. I was over here talking that talk like I was an OG. I came in, hey, man, y'all need to clean this stuff up. Man, Bryson, man, come on over here. Let me tell you something, man. You got all them, look at all them toys in the corner, man. Dad spent good money on them toys. Pick them toys up and put them in a bucket over there, man. Trent, hey, what you over here crying all the time for, man? Clean yourself up, man. You got your homework done? Listen, I'm going to go in here. I'm about to put something on this stove. I'm going to make some grilled cheeses. But when I get back in here, you need that homework in. I'm going to check over that too. You good? Like football put you in a mindset where you be older than what you be. All of a sudden, you just get mature. You be coming in the house. Yeah, man, listen, man. Matter of fact, 8 o'clock coming. I'm going to give y'all 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes on this show right here. But when TGIF go off, I need that bath water running. Yeah, man, Bryson, you first. Trent, you last. And don't be, I know if you're taking a bath or not, stop it. You just get all kind of, your mind just be different. So let me show you, let me take you up out of here. From injured to OG, I'm telling you, Bro, when you have a surgery, my first surgery I had was when I was 17. I had to take a whole bone out of my leg. You know how grown you gotta. This how crazy it was. My whole life, I was like, yo, how I'm going to college? My mom and dad said, you're going to get a scholarship. They said, you either better be good, smart enough, so you going to get a scholarship and you smarter than everybody, or you going to get an athletic scholarship. I started, I'm like, listen, I'm smart. I don't know if I'm that smart. So I'm going to get this athletic scholarship. My junior year, they found out that I had a bone growing in my leg, an extra one. And I played very well. We won the state championship that year. I played 3 sports in high school: baseball, basketball, football. My leg was hurting. I would get hit and fall on the ground. I'm like, why does it feel like something's stabbing me in my lower leg? Man, my coach just thought I didn't want to practice. You don't want to practice. I mean, I'm like, bro, my leg is killing me. They took me, got an MRI. I had this congenital disease where I grow extra bones. And I had an extra bone growing in my calf that was growing across the gap over a nerve in my leg. And I said, man, this is crazy. The team said, hey, is it going to cause any permanent damage? No. What is the prognosis? They said, well, it's the middle of the season. If they cut it out, he's going to be out for some time. My mom and dad was like, oh, no, under no circumstances. And I told him, I said, we ain't doing none of that, bro. I got a scholarly on the line. I got to get up out of here. I'm balling now. So after 4 games in, there's 10 games. They said, we're going to put a pad on it. They said, what's the downside? Well, because it's on a nerve and the bone is still growing, anytime he hits that, it's going to feel like somebody shot him in the leg. I said, well, I mean, will it go away eventually? He said, yeah, but it's going to hurt. I said, I'm playing. Don't even worry about that. That's in high school. That's 16. I knew in 16 I needed to have surgery the whole year, but was too scared to say nothing because I'm thinking, I got to get this scholarship. And the best day of my life was after the season. We eventually won the state championship. I had a broken, fractured ankle, and I needed to get surgery the day after the state championship game. And it was the most relief I ever felt in my life, because after that game, I got 10 Division I scholarship offers. And I finally got to tell people, yeah, by the way, I was playing injured the whole season. Yeah, and then guess what? I had surgery. And then I still played basketball. It's a difference between metaphors and real raps. Just giving you a little story time. Just telling y'all, when y'all was getting picked up at the mall, we was doing other things. When we was hanging out with friends, we was doing a little something else. When you knew you was going to school because you had a way, I'm just talking a little bit. Shout out to him. Let me get to my next conversation, because we're not just done right there. We just was going along with story time. Y'all all want these quarterbacks. Let me show Nathan Segura of the Browns radio network, play-by-play of the Browns. Watch how he talk about the level of which is happening with the Cleveland Browns up front. But y'all want candy, he gonna give you this meat and potatoes. Watch what he say.
Radio analyst Nathan Segura, glaring difference between the Bills, who we'll see Sunday down on the lakefront, their offense, and the Browns' offense.
One of the things I want to point out when we're talking about a guy like James Cook, he's got 11 games with more than 100 total yards this year. That's the most in the NFL. But their offensive line is doing an excellent job. James Cook has 467 yards rushing before contact in the year 2025. 467. That's 33% of his rushing yards this season. To contrast that with Quinshon Judkins this year has rushed for 805 yards. Quinshon Judkins has 43 yards before contact. 43. James Cook has 467. So that shows you right there that, number one, our offensive line is not getting the job done for our running back. Their offensive line is 467 before contact versus 43.
It's amazing he has 800 yards rushing with 43 yards before contact. I mean, think about that. That's like Nick Chubb level of avoiding tacklers?
I wish I could play that on a loop, because as a former defensive lineman and as a guy who played offensive line some in high school, and my brother's a Division I offensive lineman, it's hard to get people to wrap their heads around the fact that I get that we like quarterbacks, and I get that, you know, the league has done a good job of making quarterbacks be larger than life. And don't get it twisted. They are heavily needed, and if you want to win a Super Bowl, you need one of those guys. But I need people to wrap their head around what he is saying here. You're saying that the Bills, the difference between the Bills is the fact that their guys they're not even getting touched. They're getting the ball. He has 400 some odd yards, under some 430 some plus yards before contact, before someone's even touching him. So think about what that means. That means, and it's verified by the film work in the film we watch, Quinshon Judkins is getting contacted almost immediately. What he's getting is on his own merit. What he's getting is making guys miss. What he's getting is running through tackles. What he's getting is evading the first tackler or moving or making a move. Can you imagine how difficult it is to automatically have to make 2 or 3 guys move just before you can even get to a place where you can move the chains? And when you talk about the Cleveland Browns with first downs and why we can't complete first downs, it's exponentially more difficult. The fact that you cannot run the ball, right? You can't run. Plus, you throw in what the other caller talked about was you guys, we have false starts. We can't get lined up correctly. Illegal procedures, illegal man downfield, holding. It's always 1st and 15, plays like that. And then you can't run the football. Play action doesn't run if you're not running the ball accurately. And then let's talk about the pass protection. I mean, we are one of the worst pass protecting teams in the league, and we can't pick up 4. Like, it's not like they're blitzing everybody. We're having problem picking up regular stunts, regular defensive tackle in games. And now if you can get home with 4 and you can stop the run with 4, that means, if you do the math, boys and girls, that means you have 7 people, 7 in pass coverage dropping back to play your pass game. Not to mention you don't have any wide receivers, and your most targeted players are tight ends. That's not a good recipe for being a consistent offensive team in this league.
Without question. And you know, think about it. So 438 versus 40 some, 10 times. James Cook has 10 times more yards before contact than Quinshon Judkins. Just let that sink in a little bit.
Yeah, man, we got this turned up. I think what it is when we take the clips, if they're recorded a little lower on that end, those clips aren't directly from me. So when the clips are a little lower, so we got the volume boosted up as much as possible. What we'll do is, moving forward, I'll try to readjust it when I re-edit it, but the volume is all the way up. And if you could hit that volume, if you can, on your own individual, to see if you could turn that up during the time when the video clips is playing. I'm seeing some of the feedback on that as well. You take a look at what we're talking about there. And these are some of the stats that we speak on specifically, because we find all these mythical stats to tell us why it is that this dude ain't no good, and why it is this number is more than meets the eye. Listen, when you talk about that somebody has 430 something plus yards prior to contact, that means that dude has almost 500 yards before anybody is touching him, and he plays for the Buffalo Bills. But the problem that we have when we're trying to have conversations about football is that they didn't reduce the game of football down to such a minute point where laymen can understand the game at a position that they done dumbed it down so much. It's almost like trying to compare a Nas verse to Lil Yachty. You trying to compare a Coogee rap. You trying to compare a J verse. You trying to compare Eminem verse. You trying to compare a Big verse. You trying to break down a verse from the Locks. You trying to break down a verse from all of these under all these folks, and you trying to compare them to the Migos and Little Yachty and somebody. No disrespect, them is vibe rappers. I get it. Hip hop is a sport that is for the young people. It's the music of the young. It tells you what the young people is going through, but you can't compare that to that. So when we talking about football, everything we want to talk about is so reductionist. It's like, oh, let's talk Patrick Mahomes. We spent so much time talking about Josh Allen on the show this week. I'm like, dang, bro, Josh Allen don't play for us. If Josh Allen was on the Browns, would he be good? If Josh Allen wore a green jock strap this week, would he be? And you'd be like, listen, man, have you forgot about James Cook and his 1,500 yards? Have you forgot about the offensive line? Have you forgot about some of the things that the McDermott is able to do? This is why I'm telling you, if you are waiting to get your draft analysis from individuals who ain't never breathed it and ain't really drilling down on it, you're going to be left in the cold. Because it's gonna be so much that's left out from that analysis, and now it becomes headcanon. It becomes emotion. It becomes what you're feeling, what you want to happen. And so that's why when this week we had a conversation about, oh, G. Bush, do you feel the pressure? Do you feel the pressure that you have to say something because it just so happens that Shedeur Sanders is from the culture? When that case, I don't know what that means. Deshaun Watson was from the culture. DTR was from the culture. Jacoby Brissett is from the culture. Shedeur Sanders is from the culture. Do I feel any sort of, why would I do that? It's important why, and I'm cool with answering the question, because everything that I do, I understand how I got to move. There's checks and balances in everything that I do so that when these conversations arise, I can stand on strict business. Y'all throw, if you've been part of the breakdowns, if you've been part, just throw a 1 in there. Throw a 1 in the chat for your boy. I ain't trying to do too much, but if you've been part of the film breakdowns, put a 1 in the chat. And you ask them folks, is there pressure to say certain things? No pressure. We listen, I'm a student of this game. Does Galileo feel pressure? Is Aristotle feel pressure? I'm not saying I'm that level, but when you are a study and you try to study something, you are beholden to the craft. The only culture that I really respect is the football culture. And if you were of that culture, you would understand that was a crazy question to even ask. Because anybody of the culture would understand, why do you think I can have conversations with guys like I might not agree with Leroy all the time, but I don't have no problem telling him I disagree with him. Sean King. I don't agree with him all the time, but we're gonna have a conversation. Right? And I don't know what y'all feeling. Look, here's the thing too. I'm glad, I love this stuff, man. I love this. Because where I come from, I do talk about culture. So I shouldn't be offended if somebody say something about culture. It's just my job to correct the record and get them straight. My show is about sports, music, and culture. So when somebody asks me about culture, because I live in it, I talk about it, it's my job to educate you when you off on the culture. In hip-hop culture, let me tell you something. I'm a child of the hip-hop culture. You know what we believe in? Competition. Competition. When people get on tracks and go back at each other all the time, why do you think that some of the greatest beefs happen? Nas and Jay went over no crazy stuff. It was over the fact that, guess what? I want to be the best. And Big ain't here no more. So that crown is up for debate. It's why Eminem on Renegade say, yeah, I'm going to get on Renegade with Jay-Z, but I got to wash you. It's the same reason that Snoop Dogg came through kicking down them towers in New York. New York, big city of dreams, and everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might get food when you come from out of town. Boy, they came through with Chuck Taylor's kicking them buildings down. When DMX and Jay-Z was on the backstage, when they was on tour together, in the famous, infamous Jay-Z freestyle with DMX. Come on, man. Come on, dog. We competitive. So ain't nobody in my culture afraid to say when somebody bring that in. When somebody bring that up. No. If you want, go to a family reunion and it's family involved. Ain't no such thing as we don't brother-in-law nothing. Ask 5 or 6 people in a barbershop. That's why my show called The Bar. You ask 6 people in the barbershop about if today is Sunday, and you're going to get 7 different answers. Ain't nobody never, we in here pandering into nothing. Stop. And I'm glad. Because that's what we bring over here. That's what we bring to the table. I know y'all done seen it. Come on now. Let's keep it pushing. All first verse. By the way, just not the media. Guess what? It's a difference between players and media. Dang, Tyvus, you was right. There's a ton to be excited if you watch this game, the Bills, Steelers, Bengals. But those who are of the football culture understand that there is a lot to be gleaned and understood and found and watched. Notice the mindset. John Greco came on, right? He was on 92.3 The Fan. Watch his energy level, right? Watch the energy level. Because a lot of times, they move the goalpost so many times and try to act like you're trying to act like I didn't see somebody throw for 365. Ain't nobody threw for 365 after that. Drake May ain't threw for no 300. And he been on all the time. Michael, where Jackson Dart ain't threw for 3. Cam Ward still ain't threw for 3. I saw somebody throw for 360 and all them touchdowns. And you act like that just didn't count. And you pick this one rudimentary stat, according to EPA and blah, blah, blah. I said, did you watch the game? I don't think they'd be watching the games. John Greco puts it in a different way. Let's see what they talking about.
Came on last week, and I told you that I thought Shador at least was playing like he deserved the chance to be in the conversation next year. And obviously he's going to be the starter to close this season out. And yeah, he had a bad game against, one of the better defenses. And I think the Bears lead the league in takeaways. Now, the 3 they got probably got them over that hump. But that team takes the ball away. There were some bad throws. There was, obviously we know the Jerry Jeudy play where, maybe that could have gone the other way. But, a lot of the things that we're seeing from Shador are some of the negatives that we were concerned with coming out of the draft and during the preseason, and it was volatile during the preseason, if you guys remember. But I'm still kind of bullish on him. I don't know if there's a quarterback in this year's draft, if there's a quarterback on the couch, if there's a quarterback in any locker room in this league outside of maybe 1 or 2 that can elevate the play of the guys that are around him right now on this Browns offense. And I hate to say that, but I just think it's true. Can Josh Allen come out and magically, throw 3 touchdowns a game to Jerry Jeudy and Harold Fannin? Maybe. And use his legs? Maybe. But it just looks so different. It's hard to give anyone a fair shake with the state of the offense and really the state of the team. The defense has been a little bit banged up, giving up big plays. The special teams has been a total disaster, as we talked about for the last month. in the majority of the season. So it's hard for me to sit here and be critical of Shedeur other than the things that we know. Hey, the footwork needs cleaned up a little bit. Is he going to know now, after the play action, is that linebacker going to be dropping in that zone to cover that slant and he's going to throw it right to him? He's going to learn those things. But, would people prefer it just be check down city like we saw the first, half of the season? Would you rather see Shedeur be 20 for 28?
That's exact. Talk that check down Charlie stuff. Talk that check down Charlie stuff. Check it. Talk it. You can't have it both ways, people. Half the season, we talked about how the Cleveland Browns couldn't get no big plays. Not Joe Flacco, not Dylan Gabriel, no big plays at all. None at all. All of a sudden, Shedeur Sanders come in and one play, Isaiah Bond is a deep threat. He had 2 deep balls the other day. He threw another one that Jerry Jeudy should have caught. He has all of these plays, the most plays over 40, 50 yards. And now all of a sudden, you want to go back to the stats because you want efficiency now. I know I can't say nothing about the deep balls and the deep accuracy and those things, but now let's go back. Let's backtrack and hold on, guys. Can we find me a statistic that makes Shedeur look bad? Yeah, let me get 3 of those. Order 3 of them. Ooh, take those 2 out because those can be ambiguous. Somebody can say that ain't that bad. Let's get the worst one. Okay, here we go. But hey, what about that 365 NFL record he threw for? Oh, that doesn't matter. It was against the Titans. Titans are terrible. Well, I thought you said the Browns defense was great, but the Titans offense ran for thousands of yards on the Browns defense. You said they were good. Oh, that was an anomaly. I thought you said Cam Ward you like Cam Ward, but his numbers were demonstrably worse than Shedeur's. Oh, that don't matter. He was picked number 1. Shedeur was picked 5th. So does that mean in turn that a 5th round pick playing better than the 1st round pick is up top? No, that doesn't mean anything because he was picked right there. He needs to show it 7 games in a row and do the same thing before we can even put him in the same category. Shut your mouth. By the way, what you starting to know and what the setup we putting on is, you guys are paying attention to people that you see what it said. It's uninformed. It's unrealistic. I'm just saying. And it's really not coming. When you start to drill down and really what it hit me was, this is coming from them. This ain't coming from no. Andrew Berry ain't telling them nothing. When the last time Andrew Berry spoke? Kevin Stefanski ain't told them nothing. They sit up here and bash every single owner because they rich and want to sit on the sidelines. Before I get back into this too, let me tell you something. We need to get a reality check in the media. Guys, we're not important. I know the era of ESPN and Fox and all the big new name letter networks where regular people turned into superstars, the Stuart Scotts, the Keith Olbermann, the Dan Patricks, where regular people that did sportscasting became household names. And I respect you as pioneers for what you put on, because half of what you've done gives me an opportunity to come behind you and carve a living out and doing something that I love. But here's the reality of the situation. We've gotten so far outside the rim of our possibility that you're calling these owners stupid, arrogant, don't understand why the stuff about the Colts owner is out of pocket. Why is she on the sideline with a headset? All the stuff about why I want them to cut the check and move out of my way. Listen, let me just tell you something. The arrogance level you got to have to say that a man who is paying billions and billions and billions of dollars in his company as his legacy that you feel like you are so much elevated that your football acumen, your business acumen, who you are is important to the whatever his cause, that you feel that an owner who's a billionaire is not going to watch after his $1 billion industry? Go to Apple and tell the CEO, don't be in the meeting. Go to Merrill Lynch and tell them the CFO ain't going to be in the memorandums. The problem with a lot of y'all dude is you've never worked a real job before. And it shows. The stuff that you say don't work out in regular life. Go to a factory and tell the CEO not to be sitting around walking through the factory. He gonna walk through every part of the factory, and you might do well to shut up and do your job and be back on time from lunch. See, a lot of y'all dudes that moved around a lot where y'all be like, listen, I'ma just let you know, because I just got here. I had a job a couple of years ago. A lot of you dudes wouldn't cut it in 9 to 5s. A 9 to 5 where you get your little holidays off. You got a point system. I said, man, I remember a point system. These dudes turned around and looked at me and said, G. Bush, what's a point system? I said, are you guys serious? You don't know what a point system? A half a point for being late, a point for missing, even if you got PTO, or no call, no show, you get to a certain amount of points, you get fired. Oh, I don't know nothing about that. I said, oh, I don't even, you know what? All right, we don't. Bro, stop complaining about the owners. It's not good. It's not good radio. It's not good television. They're not changing the owner. I want him to give up the ownership. You think people as rich is going to give up ownership? It's printing money. What are you talking about, man? You guys knows how this works. You guys all vote the same way anyway. You know how, not C.G. Bush. These are your friends. You go off with these people. You rub shoulders with them outside of here. You think that they're giving up something? You tell this man, Jimmy Haslam don't even know where you, listen, be quiet.
For 80 yards, and they're all, 2-yard passes? Or do you want to see him be aggressive and try to throw the ball down the field? I think the second part, because that's how he's going to learn.
Jonathan Peterlin, I think, asked, and I want to make sure this question is asked right, so I might be getting it wrong here, but he asked Albert Breer if Shedeur Sanders was playing more for his NFL future or more for his Browns future. And I still think the best opportunity for him is probably with the Browns, because I do think a lot of people would like to get some nice value out of the position, and I think that this is a fan base that's very nervous about taking a quarterback at the top of the first round, especially after the recent history here. Do you think it's more of the NFL future, or do you think it's more of the Browns' future with him?
I think it's kind of both, leading with the Browns' future.
Another thing I got right here too is here's a little bit, and here's a little bit thing that I like to get to too. We are infatuated in our fan base with going to the nth degree, right? And what do I mean by the nth degree? Every single play, let me just tell you this. Every single player that we've had of a certain name, a certain ilk, a certain cachet, a certain fan base, y'all cats always go to, is his career over? When Odell Beckham Jr. came here and they traded him to the Rams, you said, if it doesn't work out for Odell in Cleveland, it's over. Nobody's going to take that head case. All he did is go out and put more yards up in 6 weeks with the Rams and got a Super Bowl and was on the way to being a Super Bowl MVP before he tore his ACL. But here in Cleveland, we went to, is he ever going to play again? We've already talked about the second that they do something you don't like, before the season, Myles Garrett said, trade me. I don't want him on my team. Get rid of him. He needs to go. He's a cancer. He's not a real leader. I would take these picks. It's always get gone. We don't need you. We ain't like you anyway. Why everybody with a name y'all want to go to the nth degree? Y'all just want to be banish him. I think Deshaun needs to go. Why is he on the roster? He needs to cleanse it. This system needs to cleanse. It was only because of Deshaun. He has to go. You get to Shedeur Sanders. If he's not the first team quarterback, they got to get rid of him. He can never be a backup. His fan base is too crazy. Guys, do you see a pattern here? Why are you so angry? Why do you want to banish people all the time? Why is it that you have a problem banishing only the people with talent? Only the people with talent. You want to banish them and be gone. But somehow you find it in your hearts to say Kevin Stefanski is going to get a job tomorrow. You write articles saying Kevin Stefanski is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Everyone loves Kevin. Kevin will get it. He's known around the league. Kevin loves him. I said, well, name one thing Kevin's good at. Well, if he had a quarterback, guess what? That's not what the job is. Give Kevin a good quarterback and a loaded team so he can be average. Give Kevin a already developed quarterback that's top 5 so he can be a middling coach. You see the way it works? You see how how it be moving and shaking? And when you ask them, what is he good at? They can't tell you one thing. But somehow it's always, let's get this. You wanted to banish Deshaun Watson. I said, why you got a problem with Deshaun Watson? It just needs to be cleansed. Was this the Holy War or something? There's a lot of people who was running around during the Crusades just trying to cleanse stuff, just starting wars and castles. For what? I don't really think God told them to go out there and be swiping stuff. Maybe it might have been about land or some oil or something. Resources. Oh, there you go. G. Bush, you better stop telling these history lessons. This is the problem with you. You always want to stick to sports. But I find it funny, though. Y'all always trying to banish somebody. Even Myles Garrett break the record. I heard people saying, well, the fans don't really beloved. Is Myles Garrett really beloved? He's a hired sport. He got drafted here. Why? Because he said something against the hierarchy? Huh? They should trade Myles. But yet and still they be all in their feelings. Fine, Kevin will get a job. How dare you say fire him? Fine, it's okay. Stop.
Sure, and I agree with you and your take that this is probably his best chance to have success, long-term sustained success, because they have so much draft capital. And, obviously, yeah, there's the quarterback moves in recent years shouldn't make anyone feel comfortable. But wouldn't you rather see them, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, wouldn't we rather see whoever's making the decisions for 2026, bolster the offensive line, because that's obviously who knows what's going on with guys that are hurt and guys that are rotating because they're hurt or if it's performance, and you have some veteran players and guys coming back from injury. But that room obviously needs retooled and refocused. So are they going to do that through free agency, through the draft? They should. They need to. Because, if you draft Mendoza or whoever in the draft, they're going to be running for their lives no matter what. And then obviously you need to have some weapons around them. So I just would like to see them build the offense, from the ground up and roll with a guy and try to develop a guy that's currently in that quarterback room. And then see if we get to a position where we're winning 8-9 games and they're not getting over that playoff hump because of quarterback play, then you worry about it. But look what they did to the defense last year. They drafted some young guys, and those guys, I don't want to say aren't making a lot of noise, because they are, but they just were plugged into a group that was a strength of the team, and they were able to grow and mature and play well and not have to win games on their own or create all these defensive plays on their own. They played like a unit. where offensively it's just like everyone's kind of looking around waiting for one guy to be the savior, and it's just not there. So rebuild the offense, retool the offensive line, get some guys, build some depth, and then have whatever quarterbacks in there at least go out and play with some confidence.
That sound way too. Come on, John Greco. Why you sounding all smart and intelligent right there? Level-headed. By the way, there are people out here who are level-headed. There are people that are level-headed around here. There are people who actually are seeing this. They're seeing this in real time. By the way, right here, a lot of people, y'all been echoing the same thing. Our members, shout out to our members down there as you see them put their thoughts and comments up. There are others like you. Contrary to popular belief, they'll make you believe that you're crazy. Let me just tell y'all something. Everybody tries to make it seem like the Shadorians are the small group of people. Actually, to be truthful, this group is a quite large contingency. Let me ask you this question. Does this person sound like a Shadorian? This person sounds like a regular old Browns fan that's been doing the same thing for 35 years in a row, and he's tired of doing it. Take a look at this.
Back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
There seems to be a sentiment that the Browns need to draft a quarterback, and I would just like to chime in that there is no obligation, there is no demand that the Browns draft a quarterback, especially in the first round. I would love to see the Browns fix some of the deeper issues, maybe use first-round picks on best available players like an offensive lineman or two, or possibly a skill position player like a receiver. So again, I just don't think that the Browns are tied down by a need to draft a quarterback in the first round, and we have other issues that definitely need resources. Thank you for your time.
That sound like a Shadorian? See how they gaslight you is see what they do is they make you seem delusional. They make you seem like you are whatever you saying is so far in a realm of it's just you guys you're lost in the sauce. And if you can make somebody seem lost in the sauce, what you can do is you can disregard, you can minimize the impact, you can minimize the conversation. You could make it a farce. You could make it completely crazy. That why would you people even say this? Look at how crazy they are. Does that man sound like a Shadorian? Nah, he don't sound like no crazy Shadorian. But also remember what I told you listen, it's the echo chamber. Why would you be getting your football acumen from people that don't even really watch football? Let's hear it again. Let's hear him talk. Hear the sobering conversation. And you see the like, what are we doing here in this voice?
Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
There seems to be a sentiment that the Browns need to draft a quarterback, and I would just like to chime in that there is no obligation, there is no demand that the Browns draft a quarterback, especially in the first round. I would love to see the Browns fix some of the deeper issues, maybe use first-round picks on best available players like an offensive lineman or two, or possibly a skill position player like a receiver. So again, I just don't think that the Browns are tied down by a need to draft a quarterback in the first round, and we have other issues that definitely need resources. Thank you for your time.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. G-Bush, it comes down to this. I certainly wouldn't package any draft assets together. If there is a quarterback you think is a franchise quarterback when you draft, fine. Otherwise, get a wide receiver, get a tackle.
Yeah, listen, I'm under the mindset we ain't packaging up. We can't do the package game.
Yep.
We under no circumstances can we package none of that. I get what people are saying, but look, hey, look, a couple of years ago, I'm a homeowner now, and when you become a homeowner, you be thinking about a lot of things differently, right? You get that mortgage, you be looking around, all of a sudden, little things like cars, you don't even think about that. You're like, hold on, what you mean to tell me? So the brakes, we need some brakes on the car. That's cool. We'll work with the car, but under no circumstances am I trading my car in and I got about 5 years left on it to pay. No, I don't got it. I'm sorry. Like, I would listen. I get it. It's new. It got some new. By the way, like, let me just let y'all know something. I don't care what platform I'm on. I'm G Bush all the time. Let's be clear about it. I'm going to give you what I give you. Like, if you thought he was going to get something other than G Bush on any platform, this is how we giving it up. So a lot of people talk about, you switching that. No. I'm just giving you that. Make sure. Shout out to Sports for CLE, Curdy, to see them. Make sure you check me out every single Friday. We've been talking spicy. We talk about a lot of different things. Specs, the lights is a little brighter. The paint job look a little better. But I need to worry about this sewer line. I need to worry. Listen, I don't know. We need to get some siding on this thing. It make you think about the necessities. And for the Cleveland Browns, there was no glaring need or necessity for you to go about and draft a quarterback if he's not available there and it's not a pressing need. And I go to this. What were you thinking about when you used assets on quarterbacks this year? You see, because we can't have it both ways. If quarterback was a necessity and they believed it was such a necessity that they needed to get 2 of them, if they go back into the draft, right, and go get another quarterback, that means, was there a necessity to get the quarterback this year? No. In that case, you should have been drafting linemen and receivers this year in 25. So that tells me, think about how much we've invested in that position in the last, I guess, 5 years. The opportunity cost in the fact that they made the evaluation that Baker wasn't good enough. Okay, cool. He's not good enough. They moved on from him. Now we got Deshaun Watson. We know what we gave up for that. We talk about every week, the money and the picks. Then he gets hurt. We got to come back again. We got DTR. That wasn't working out. We came back and got these 2 in the 3rd and the 5th. Now, I can't keep doing this every year. Now, here's what I can do. I can develop the team around the quarterback position, give it a longer window to evaluate whether it's, hey, if you want to, they said they're going to keep Deshaun Watson, but yeah, listen, he'll be back healthy. You got Dylan Gabriel, 3rd-round asset. You got Shedeur Sanders. He's thrown for 300 yards in a game. He's showing you some stuff. He's up and down just like any rookie. He played 4 games. Sometimes you're going to have to be patient. And the Cleveland Browns got to understand, we can't keep trying to microwave stuff. The microwave game don't work. You need to invest in the premium position and see what you got. And if after next year, the group of guys that you don't have, and maybe it's Watson and Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel, if you don't have nothing out of that and the dividends are poor, then guess what you do? You can go back and look and say, okay, we invested in tackle, we invested in receivers, Juck in 2nd year, Harold Fannis doing his thing, Dylan Sampson looks like he's going to be a guy. With Mason, we got a lot of guys. And then guess what you can sell the fan base on? Hey, yeah, maybe we do go look at Lenora Sellers or Arch Manning in 27. And maybe at that point, we have enough time to package some stuff and maybe get one of those guys. We'll talk about it then. But I don't know. I can't package nothing out this year.
And you know, again, the draft class for Andrew Berry was really good. But I have also said pretty repeatedly, there's no tackle in it. There's no wide receiver in it. The quarterbacks, we'll see. They were kind of non-premium guys. Now, they're really good. Carson Schwarzenegger is really good. Mason Graham looks like he's a starter. Quinshon Judkins is a starter. You got good pieces, but you need the foundational pieces on offense still.
Got to have them. Because if you don't have those, you see what you got. Those are 3-win pieces. Mind you, throw in top of this. Myles Garrett going to break the sack record.
Yep.
Denzel Ward has been a top corner. So you're telling me I got the defensive rookie of the year, the defensive player of the year, a top 5, 10 corner back there playing. You seem like you got a nice secondary and a number 2 rated overall defense, and you still won 3 wins? That just goes to show you don't have what makes the league move, and that's, do you have the line play? Do you have the quarterback? And do you have some skill guys that can put points on the board? Boy, oh boy. You see, we building into something. We building to something. This is why you show up on Saturdays. You show up for layered commentary. You don't show up for just one little point and talking points. You see how we building to something? We building to something. We working to something. First of all, we telling you these folks don't be talking what they be talking about. Second of all, where are you getting this from? Because I'm hearing stuff from other places where it's like, wow, is it just us that's in this echo chamber? We heard about the offensive line, what you need to do, but now we're going to talk about the receiving core. And when you go and invest in your team and you're trying to build you a team, how you can't look at offensive line and receivers outside of each other. The blocking and passing game are married to one another. If anybody been married out there, let me understand something. I never understood your money or my money. Now, if you have separate money out there, no disrespect to you. But the way I grew up was, how I'm going to sit down in the restaurant and my wife ain't got no money? So you meaning to tell me, I see people, can I borrow $15? Borrow? I might as well keep a girlfriend. We might as well be boyfriend and girlfriend with borrow. And I stopped borrowing with them. That's a long time ago. I don't know what type of relationship goals y'all got. I'm like, bro, what you mean borrow? People need to, hey, I don't know what marriage means to a lot of people, but let me tell you something. Y'all people don't know. Something happened to me today. Guess who get to decide what happened? Let them put you on a little machine. It ain't your wife decide whether or not they gonna keep you moving or not, or they gonna keep you on that machine. And I love my mom to death. They ain't gonna ask my mom. They not gonna ask my dad. They gonna say, hey, Mrs. Bush, Miss Rose Bush, your husband in bad shape. What you want to do? How you want to move with it? So she might want to know you. I might want to have a better little bond, a little something, so y'all can understand what my wishes is, right? Because guess what? She's gonna have to, if I can't speak, she gotta speak for me. And how you gonna have somebody speak for you and you borrow money? That's the extent of your relationship? Y'all borrow money? So I go to the restaurant and she can't eat? If I need gas in my car and she got a full tank of gas and I can't go, nah, bro, I don't know. I don't do that. I might keep me a little girlfriend, bro. You keep you a girl. Sometimes y'all might want to have you a girlfriend and boyfriend. Marriage is a little different. Trust me. Because if she really don't like you, and she go to that judge, he gonna tell you what he gonna tell you. I done been there. You gonna say that sound cool? That 50 borrow? What? My mom and dad. Listen, listen. Shout out to my dad. I don't even think he cared, man. Listen, my mom used to go. Shout out to my mom used to pull up. I was in the car. She used to pull up and get my dad. It wasn't, we was so check to check, we couldn't wait for them to cash it after the work. We needed to get these bills taken care of. We had some payments we needed. We had made some arrangements. Put a one in the chat if you know about arrangements. My mom had to go get this. She said, get your coat on. I'm like, what's going on? It's Wednesday. Dad got paid. Boy, man, we was up to the job. I done been in there, and he would be, shout out to him, he a good man. He was sitting there waiting at the door to hand that check over. And you know what? The good thing about a good relationship was he ain't never have to worry about no bills then getting paid. He ain't never have to worry about what my mom was doing with that money and that bill money, how it was getting dispersed. He ain't never had to worry about we wasn't eating. It was a mythical box. That purse was mythical. Sometimes it was more money coming out of that purse than what was going into that purse. How many of you know about that financial blessing? How many of y'all know about that? The money that was coming into the purse was different coming out. I don't know how we got through a lot of them times. But all he asked for, hey, man, give me some chicken. He get that check, we go get him some chicken. All he wanted on Wednesday, on his payday, Give me some chicken. We came, got him some chicken, gave it to him for lunch, and we was good. That's where you learn about good relationships, is give and take. What you bring to the table, level of trust. That's a little something for y'all. But the game is married. Offensive line is married to receiver. And if you want to get you a receiver, where you going to get one? Where you going to get you a good offensive lineman at? Facts, my wife and I share accounts, and we are good. Shoot. Hey, put a one in the chat if you got you a good one. Put a one in the chat if you got you Uncle Ted. Shout out, that's another one. Uncle Ted and Carol. Let me tell you something. Greg George, that's my cousin. They so good. Listen, they helped take care of me. They helped take care of me like that was my mom and dad. I was grown. You know how when you got them little jobs, jobs ain't paying nothing? She used to say, hey, how you doing? You still working? Yeah, I'm working over here at so-and-so. How your gas tank? I used to be trying to get to the next check. And she tell me to meet me over at Speedway, meet me over at BP, meet me over there, Sunoco. And that she filled my tank up. That's so legit. Man, it's like, yo, and what she was trying to do, they was trying to instill in me. They was trying to instill in me. Keep going. Keep working. Keep them job. Keep you a job. Keep you a job. I don't care what it is. Keep you a job. And you know how hard it is, especially if you got you something, because they understood as a young black man, as a young man in this country, keep you a job. And so Aunt Carol, Uncle Ted made sure they was going to pull up on you, making sure, all right, well, at least you got enough to put you something in the tank and get back to work. So that's real. But when you talk about these receivers, and just like good relationships, you're going to need to find one. Where you find a good relationship at? Now, I looked up. I got mine on the internet, but I don't suggest that for all y'all. That was divine internet capabilities. The Lord really put me in a position, right? But I don't know how to finding a girl in the club. Running up on somebody in the club. I don't know how you're going to do that. Finding somebody. I want to find somebody where you like-minded. Find somebody in the library studying. All right, that might work. I found somebody on a Christian dating site. Oh, I just need to see what I need. Hey, maybe it might work. But I don't know how going to the club at 3 o'clock in the morning going to work out for you if you want to do that. And the Cleveland Browns continuously play around with going to the club trying to find they number ones. You can't keep going. You always looking for, she done broke up with all these other dudes, all the street dudes. Yeah, she was cute in high school, but she done been with all the dope boys. She done been all with the basketball players. Now you think you change that up? Yeah, you dating a dude, he like fast money. I know he got out of prison and he been lifting weights, he looked good. He used to fast money. You trying to always rehabilitate somebody. Find you somebody that don't got to be rehabilitated. And you know where they come out? The first round. Get you a lineman in the first round. Rand Carthon, he talked about the dilemma the Cleveland Browns have. Because in this conversation, we always saying, get you a quarterback, get you a quarterback. And I'm here to tell you, let Fernando Mendoza be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. They're going to make everything that they said Shador don't need, they will turn around and say he needed. Everything that they crush Shador for, they're going to turn around and make them same excuses next year and say, he ain't playing well because of no line. He ain't playing no well because he ain't got a receiver. Why we always got to run somebody out of town? We ain't learned from Baker Mayfield yet. We ain't learned from Deshaun Watson. You guys just need to stop it. They're going to fan out. Oh, I can't believe that they're doing this to this guy. They're doing this to this guy, and he doesn't have anything around him. We need to be ashamed of ourselves. You know they ain't gonna do that today, though. You know that, right? Lord said they ain't getting none of that. All that emotional, nah, they ain't doing that. But let me just tell you what Rand Carthon said. Y'all feel like you think you gonna just get you a receiver in free agency? You ain't getting no free receiver in the free agency. And let me break it down by the numbers. I used to be a GM. Let me tell you how this works. And if you think I'm lying, here you go.
Former Titans GM Rand Carthon talking about the issues the Browns.
You see what I bring the receipts to the table? I bring you competent receipts with titles. Did G. Bush say it's an imaginary person in my head where I talked to somebody 5-6 weeks ago or 32 years ago, and there's 3 or 4 people here and 5 people here, and I know this person and I got this? No. You know what I do? I don't just shuck and jive. I give you, oh, this is a former Titans GM, and he's talking about receivers. It's not that hard, people. I don't understand why I'm confused, but that's how you got to layer up your shows. Layer it up, G. Bush. What did you say? Shout out to Sportsman. What you say? Who this was?
Former Titans GM Rand Carthon.
Oh, hold on. Who you say this was?
Former Titans GM Rand Carthon.
I got to put it in subtitles or something?
Former Titans GM Rand Carthon.
Do I got to remix it? Do I got to remix it like Hitman Holler? Where's Show Out?
Former Titans GM Rand Carthon talking about the issues the Browns could potentially have if they're going to go out and try to sign wide receiver 1, a big-time wide receiver in free agency.
Currently, you have $8 million in cap space. You're about 25th, 26th, 27th in the league in terms of the available space. But of those names that you mentioned, do those guys want to go play in Cleveland with the uncertainty at quarterback? And if they do go, or will they try to charge a premium price to get them there? And if you're Cleveland, are you willing to pay a premium price? I'm from the ilk with 10 draft picks. You're going to have to draft wide receiver 1. I don't think right now you go and you spend, wide receiver 1 money.
Yeah, and you not only need wide receiver 1, you need left tackle 1, you need guard 1, you need but I
This is wild. Hold on. This is why I give it to you. Don't it seem like in the last hour or so you've been watching this? Don't it seem like this is crazy? These folks is talking a different language. Don't it seem like it's like, wow, this is refreshing? There's no narrative-based stuff. There's no, a coach would never take this job. There's no, I'm thinking, like, there's no Kevin Stefanski agenda. There's none of this. Listen, bro, this is straight nuts and bolts. We need a guard 1, a center 1, a tackle, 2 tackles. And he brought up something so cold. Let me tell y'all something. Let me go back to it so we can break this down. I want y'all to catch this. It was slick how he said it.
Price to get them there. And if you mentioned, do those guys want to go play in Cleveland with
do those guys what?
Do those guys want to go play in Cleveland with the uncertainty at quarterback? And if they do go, or will they try to charge a premium price to get them there? And if you're
see what y'all guys, look, guy on the left know exactly what he's saying. Unlike the people that's in this echo chamber, people on the outside of this echo chamber that's going to talk football, going to keep it real with you. You see, the problem with the Browns is they overestimate their worth They overestimate their intelligence. They overestimate their reach. They overestimate their value. They consistently do it. And they don't take into consideration the economics and the culture of what football is. This is 1962, fellas. This ain't 1954. You play in Cleveland, Ohio. It's cold outside. We got a loyal fan base, but I'm going to tell you what, half of this fan base be on some trash. Half of them is always trying to get rid of somebody. Half of them don't like you stepping out of line or saying nothing. Half of them is ready at any second to turn on you. You think them folks don't understand that you kind of turned on Myles Garrett? Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad say, why can't we get the football? You say, get him out of here. Note to self, Cleveland, people like catching balls that are receivers. It's the reason you don't have one. Huh? And if I'm going to play in Cleveland in the cold under a coach that Kevin Stefanski, quote unquote, can't get no receiver to football, and you done turned the coach into a deity, how is the coach the most popular person? He won 6 games in the last 2 years. The media been doing the same thing. Think about it. Baker Mayfield don't like the media. Johnny Manziel don't like the media. Odell Beckham Jr. don't really like the media. Heck, even the basketball players don't be talking to the media too much. I keep saying it. Who do we really like? Who do we like? And even when Nick Chubb got time to get his bag of money, you said, we don't need that. Get him out of here. I don't understand why people want Nick Chubb. Oh, really? This is the Nick Chubb that you said that he represents the city, represents everything great about it, and then the second he couldn't perform the way you thought so, he was ready to be jettisoned? You done booed multiple quarterbacks. You booed Tim Couch when he was hurt on the field. You booed Deshaun Watson when he was on the field. Let's just be clear, guys. You're always overvaluing because you don't live in reality. You live in an echo chamber. And any receiver that you think is going to get to come here, you think that he doesn't talk to Odell Beckham Jr. or Jarvis Landry and say, how was it playing in Cleveland? You don't think that they go around and talk about what's going on? No. Of course they do. Because generally speaking, 18 to 25-year-old black males kind of talk a lot to each other. They do. So when you think you're gonna, we can just get this guy and do, no. Here's another reason you're not getting him. You're not getting a number 1 receiver unless you hold him hostage and make him play here. Because I'm not coming here for that. So why would a number 1 receiver want to come play in this offense, and when he don't get the football, he says, I want the football, and you turn this into 1962 shut up and dribble? No, we're not doing that. Oh, G. Bush, you got way too spicy today. 3,186 yards. This is crazy work. This is crazy work. This is why we can't never finish shows on time. Continue.
Cleveland, are you willing to pay a premium price? I'm from the ilk with 10 draft picks. You're going to have to draft wide receiver 1. I don't think right now you go and you spend, wide receiver 1 money.
Yeah, and you not only need wide receiver 1, you need left tackle 1, you need guard 1, you need. But I agree. Wide receivers on the free agent market are, that's the market that blew up. Jerry Jeudy looked like he was getting a lot of money. I think he's 24th or 25th now, so it's up in the $40-45 million range.
Damn, man! Listen, this whole thing is a masterclass in why there are certain groups of people that think it's crazy to draft a quarterback. Certain people, because again, it's just not whether or not you feel like the guy is credible, or Mendoza or Moore, or wherever you got is the guy. It's the fact that when you look at what the market is for these other positions, we are finding it in real time how difficult it is to go on the open market and find your answers at premium positions. The Cleveland Browns have tried it for 3 years. Hey, let's just go out and get some free agents. Hey, get a free agent tackle. Hey, can you see if there's a tackle out there? Maybe a former first-round pick that busts somewhere else. Maybe Robinson, or maybe a Tevin Jenkins, or we can fill it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You pay for what you get. There's a lot of people out there that is understanding that around Christmas time. Beware. Hey, listen, I'm going through some issues right now, and I've been taking some field, and I want to do something to my backyard. And if people say, gee, Bush, you need a good contractor. You need a good contract. And you know what the funny thing I'm finding out? I hear the most crazy stories in the world about contractors coming to people's houses and telling them they can do a bunch of stuff. And then halfway through the job, there's a bunch of deck material outside. It's sawdust everywhere. There's 3 or 4 trees down, and you can't get nobody to finish the siding on your house. You say, what does this have to do with the Cleveland Browns? Well, listen, you pay for what you get. If you want somebody to come to your house and knock a couple thousand off because you think you're getting a deal, don't give me no deal. Charge me full price. I just want you to, I want to know that you're going to be in business in 3 weeks so that you can come finish my deck before the summer comes. So for the Cleveland Browns, if you want a wide receiver 1, you're not going to get anybody to just show up and give you a discount. You're going to have to do the painstaking job of drafting and investing. We've tried it other places. You need to invest in the draft and highly, highly drafted skill positions, highly gone after linemen. That's the only way you're going to do it. You got to make a decision. Are you going to go and keep going in the open market, trying to figure out if you can get a couple good years from Jerry Jeudy, or are you going to go out there and get you a Carnell Tate? You're going to go out there and get you a Tyson. You're going to go out there and get you a Maaga, a nice big tackle that can move people out the line of scrimmage. Or you're going to continue to kick the can down the road, and we see how that has worked.
Yep. Again, nothing against Cedric Tillman. Hadn't worked out as a third-round receiver. Anthony Schwartz, whoo, don't even get me going there. The
David Bell, unfortunate his career,
yeah,
but
this is what it's a passing league, and you haven't found a quarterback, and you haven't found a wide receiver, and that's how you end up with back-to-back 3-win seasons.
Ain't it funny how sometimes you can come across some content, it'll be really refreshing. And then it'll let you know that maybe I'm not crazy out here. Maybe you just know what. Maybe these folks out here, maybe I ain't, because I be watching these folks and I'm like, man, what we got going on? What we got going on? We almost there. This hit different. This right here. Whew. Check the thumbnail. I always say, are you guys really watching this stuff? Because it seemed kind of uninformed. It seemed kind of unrealistic. The takes is unprepared, unsavory. just up in the air. Just all the use. And sometimes I ask myself, why is it that these takes that I be hearing seem like they're just grabbed out of the air? Let me just grab this out of the air. Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed it's not what people say, it's what they don't say. When you listen to the local media talk about Mendoza, right? When they talk about Fernando Mendoza, understand what they're saying and what they're not saying. In human language, sometimes it's in what you don't say. And every time we hear somebody say something about Fernando Mendoza, it's if the Browns believe he's a franchise quarterback, if they have the grade on him that says he is the next guy, if they make the evaluation that Mendoza is X, Y, and Z, you can never pass up on a franchise quarterback. And if he is a franchise quarterback, then by default, you can't pass on him. You know, if Mendoza is who they say he is, you notice the theys, the ifs, cloaked in vagueness. What do you mean? What do you mean if the grade in the evaluation is if Mendoza is the next quarterback, then by default, you have to then take the quarterback? That is one of the biggest tells. And feel free. I drop 3 to 4 jewels every single week. This jewel right here is going to save you heartache and pain, and it's going to tell you all you need to know about somebody in 5 seconds or less. It's the G. Bush playbook. How to figure out if somebody is bluffing, perpetrating, capping, or posing in 5 seconds or less when it comes to the game of football. Even you can have the crystal ball like G. Bush. When a person tells you if Mendoza is a franchise guy and if the Browns have him evaluated or if his grade, the first thing that tells you is you have not seen Fernando Mendoza play one game. You have watched maybe 1 or 2 highlights. You don't know his background. And more importantly, you don't know what his game is. You haven't seen him play. You haven't broken down any film on him. You haven't watched him any games besides the Ohio State game, and you can't take anything away from that because it was only 220, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. This is a tell, immediate tell that you have not put the time, energy, effort into even watching this prospect. And what you're telling us in layman's terms is, yeah, I haven't seen him a lot, but I'm going to have a very opinionated conversation. How can you have an opinion that is rooted in anything that's solid and anything that has some basis to it if you have not seen or watched him play? That's number one. Because what you're couching is saying, I'm not going to do the evaluation part. That's up for the Cleveland Browns to do. What I get paid to do is to just prognosticate on what you think in your head. Is that about the player or is that about you? 90% of what you're telling is about your biases, in what you think, how you view the world, how you view quarterback play, and all of the other things that come wrapped up into your 30, 40, 50 years on this planet and the way you see life. It ain't based in the play, the film, the analysis, the knowledge of football. It's based in this way you see the world. Boy, maybe this is too much for people. I'm giving away too much sauce. If the Browns believe that so-and-so can be, they don't even know if this dude can play or not. And we've been so lazy with it that they don't care. It don't matter if I know he play or not, because I'm sitting in the chair. My opinion is elevated because I say it louder, or I talk faster, or I scream it, or I just keep saying it a bunch, or you cloak it in 3 people that you know that say this, 2 people you trust that like this. Well, I know people around the league that'll never do this. Okay. I've always told you, life is about the specifics. If you go to a financial advisor and he can't tell you what the interest rate is, he can't tell you the 5-year outlook on these stocks and bonds, he can't give you and articulate the risk, you gonna give him your life savings? But most of y'all, when it comes to your sports life savings and your sports time, you give them your whole life savings and they deliver you some shoddy performance and some scribbled cookie notes, and they throw it to you, and we got to take that seriously? So we've established guys ain't playing no ball. Guys not watching no ball. Guys not breaking no film down. Guys just looking around, just repeating what other people say. And now when it comes to the quarterback, that's the second year in a row. So you meaning to tell me y'all don't be watching games? Well, I'm not an analyst. I'm an opinion person. That's strike 3. Any person in the world has an opinion. But what makes one person's opinion more valued than the other? The difference between me and you is my blogs is 3 hours. I give you audio. I give you visual. I give you stats. I give you religion. I give you philosophy. I give you math, architecture, stories, tales, history, science, astronomy, to prove what I'm saying, to back up what I'm saying. The difference between me and you is you come on and you think your 30 minutes with these little stats is moving something. It's boring. No one wants to hear that. It's boring. Your takes are uninformed. And frankly, it seems like you're sitting there making it up as you go. How you make it up as you go and you already had the topics? You know what you should prepare for, but the problem is you don't prepare. Because when you hear yourself for so long, you'll actually tell yourself that you're better than you are. You're smarter. The scary part for me is I'm always looking for the next person saying, are you better than them? I'm always looking at other people saying that was a damn good podcast, even by the people that I don't think is good. I'm scared for people to say G. Bush done fell off. I'm scared for people to say G. Bush didn't even bring it. I'm scared for people to buy G. Bush. You know what? 5 years ago, you used to be dope. I used to watch your show and feel like I came away learning something every single time. Every single Saturday, I get nervous because am I going to be able to move the bar? Can I move the people? Can I get the people? Is it something they ain't heard or ever seen? And that's the difference. It's the difference between me and you. And it ain't even about me. It's about the push for something greater. It's about the push for the truth. It's about the push to explain it in a way that ain't even explained it before. The receipts isn't just me going back and forth with people. The receipts is called documentation. It's called history. It's called supporting details. What I'm finding is there's a lot of people lacking all the above letter D. And you thought we was done. Fernando Mendoza can play. He can play. But why you just taking my word for it? You should probably be doing that research as well. If the Browns believe. No, what do you believe? Your job is not to be the mouthpiece and the arbiter of the Browns. Your job is to tell people what you believe. What do you see? What is your take on it? We've lost our way in this media game because, frankly, we've gotten lazy. Let's tell you about what Daniel Jeremiah has to say about Fernando Mendoza and why it's scary. Because what you're missing, they're not going to tell you this. This is scary right here. Watch what he said.
Jeremiah, draft analyst, NFL.com and the NFL Network, talking about the 2026 quarterback draft class.
I've seen Cam Ward play live this year, and I was there for Jackson Dart's first start with the Giants. And now Jackson Dart's got to protect himself a little bit better and not make this concussion thing more than it should be here. He's got to do a better job there. But those guys, talent-wise, I think they're more talented. They're more physically gifted than any of the quarterbacks that I've seen in this class. I like Mendoza. I think he's clearly the best one that I've seen so far as I've gone through it. But it wouldn't be enough for me that I was going to punt on either one of those guys.
Did you just hear what he said? This man said he don't think Mendoza is better than Cam Ward or Jackson Dart. What? Hold on. Hold on.
More than it should be. Live this year, and I was there for Jackson Dart's first start with the Giants, and now Jackson Dart's got to protect himself a little bit better and not make this concussion thing more more than it should be here. He's got to do a better job there. But those guys, talent wise, I think they're more talented. They're more physically gifted than any of the quarterbacks that I've seen in this class. I like Mendoza. I think he's clearly the best one that I've seen so far as I've gone through it. But it wouldn't be enough for me that I was going to punt on either one of those guys.
Okay, so what that's telling me is stay away from the draft class. That I heard that, and I'm like, don't take one of those guys early. If you don't think, look at the struggles Cam Ward has had. Look at the struggles Jackson Dart has had. They've looked good in spots, but you're not turning around a franchise in a year with that.
I'm cool on that. And then listen, if you Andrew Berry and you keep your job, and say for instance you is making that pick, I'll throw this out there right now. I don't understand how you feel you even got the cachet to even do that. Think about it. If the owner said 3 wins ain't good enough, and say Kevin Stefanski loses his job this year, do you think that you can come out here, Andrew Berry, if you kept your job because you do have a couple pieces in part, you think you got enough cachet to draft a quarterback? Because let me tell you something, if you draft a quarterback and you don't have any assets involved placed in an offensive lineman or a receiver to get better around him, you're not winning. No, I mean, what are you going to be? I mean, they don't have nobody on contract. He's not good enough from what I've seen just watching him. He's not good to elevate this type of team the Browns have with no weapons. He's not like, to me, Jeremiah's correct. When I watch Cam Ward, he does not have the same arm. He doesn't have the same it. I don't think he's played better competition or thrown the ball or athleticism like Dart. I mean, let's just be honest with you, man. I listen. I know Shador is up and down, but I mean, I saw him throw for 360. I don't know if you put Mendoza in the offense that he's thrown for 300 plus yards. As a matter of fact, I don't think that many rookies. Only one rookie I seen throw for 300, Shador Sanders, and that might be the end-all, be-all. Nobody might throw for another 300. I just think right now we done got in our mind where we looking at these cats like lottery tickets, and it's not that. I mean, guys is up and down. Look at the league as a whole in general. I mean, Pat Mahomes didn't have no good year like that. Lamar Jackson's been up and down. Joe Burrow questioned whether or not he liked the game of football. It was so tough for him this year. So, I mean, guys, yeah, I know there's a new quarterback coming out every year, but between him and Dante Moore, if that's the best two you got that you offering up, I just don't see it. Now, I think Mendoza could be pretty good, but I wouldn't put my career on the line for it.
Nope. He'll look a lot better if you put something around him. And right now, you see the Browns don't have a lot to put around whatever they have at quarterback.
Maybe it was me. I didn't. As we throw a nice little cap on this thing, I didn't see. Do you guys see a bunch of Shadorians? You see, here's the one thing you're not gonna get. We study this thing. Right? Cleveland Browns. They going out here to play the Buffalo Bills. And they're going to play the Bills, right? And one of the things that the people is trying to do, we did this little exercise about how the Browns' job is not a great job. That is strategically, that is all based on what your personal feelings are about Shador Sanders. There's no way that you're going to say this is the worst jobs. Why? Because you try to make it seem like it's a dumpster fire because Kevin got fired? No, Kevin got fired because he ain't good with his job. But when you want to talk about the Cleveland Browns team, and why a writer said we have the Cleveland Browns as a number 2 or 3 team that would be available. People went crazy. Oh my gosh. This is rounding with the Raiders, the bottom 8 job. But I think it's funny that when you talk to other people, even the players, seem to have a little more high expectations, little higher thought of the Cleveland Browns and where they're going. Again, it's always funny. When you talk about this game with the Cleveland Browns, there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity here, right? There's a chance that the Cleveland Browns are going to have an opportunity to show what they can do. And for the people that play and people understand it, there's a ton to be excited about watching the Bills, the Steelers, and the Bengals games, right? We've already started to say, and this is crazy. And notice what they'll start to say. They'll start to say, okay, we want to see the evaluation every single week matters, right? But notice the week that Shador played well against the Titans didn't matter because it was the Titans. They're already going to start to say, well, the Bengals game don't count because two teams don't have anything to play for. What can you glean from this? The game that really should have looked at something. We should really just take a look for the Bears. These dudes be doing all these mental gymnastics. Get ready for it. The Bengals game ain't going to count at all. Steelers game. Watch how they diminish. They be moving and diminishing. But watch how other people talk about the Browns. Watch the respect level that they talk about the Browns. And watch how this shows you why this game is pivotal and why you can step up and do something.
Quarterback Josh Allen coming to town Sunday. Talked about what he sees with the Browns defense, as well as Myles Garrett going after that sack record in NFL history.
I do like highlight tapes, but I don't like being a part of other people's highlight tapes. He's an absolutely tremendous football player. He's one of the greatest of all times. He's a force to be reckoned with, and we got to be ready for everything that they can throw at us, but you have to be aware of where 95's at all times.
About his style of play, just what he's able to do.
He's the biggest guy out there. He's the fastest guy out there. His ability to get off blocks, his motor is higher than really anybody else that you'll ever play. He can beat you with speed and power. He's just the all-around football player. But we all know how great he is, but he's not the only guy that they got. They've got a really, really great unit. Got a really good secondary. 2 of the top corners in the league. They got one of the best rookies playing their linebacker position. You got to be, like I said, all hands on deck, and it's going to take every single guy to go out there and accomplish what we need to accomplish.
And one of those cornerbacks, Denzel Ward, out. So that's going to be a challenge. Josh Allen's playing really well. He really is.
Yeah, man. It's one of them uphill battles. The Browns, it's twofold. Josh Allen has shown that you can be down 20-some points, and he come back and give you 30 points to win the football game. Can run the ball. It's kind of funny. He's the inverse of what exactly he was talking about Myles Garrett. He's big. He's strong. He's a gamer. He's tough-nosed, has a crazy arm, could throw it in the wing, throw it in rain, inclement weather, don't matter. He's big. He can run short yardage. He's a load to bring down on the goal line in the open field. He can make people miss. And when he tucks it down to run, he's looking to run, and he might run you over or run past you to get in the end zone. So, right now, I think, to me, I said this on UCSS, to me, this is their year. If they don't get it done this year, I don't know what to tell them. They look like they might be on a mission. Patrick Mahomes is out the way. Ravens look like they may be out the way. Chargers ain't did too much. The only team I see really, really competing with them like that is the Rams. I got a Rams versus Bills Super Bowl. But right now, Josh Allen is playing like the MVP, like one of the best players in the league. And for the Browns, what they need to do is, I think Myles Garrett does get the sack record in this game. I think the Browns may have a little bit of a push, a little bit of a boost because they are playing against one of the best teams in the league and the Super Bowl caliber team. I think other players, great players, like to get up against other great players, and I do think offensively they may get a little bit of a boost as well because you got guys that you're gonna have to compete. I would like to see the Browns open it up. I want to see the Browns continue to throw the football they need a run game. They're going to need to open it up, and they might need a couple trick plays to work for them to win this football game. But it's an uphill battle, but I think it's going to be a really good matchup between Josh Allen and Myles Garrett up front. Let me tell you something as we wrap this thing. The easiest way for the Browns, for the Shedeur Sanders to put the quarterback conversations away is to come out here and go throw for throw. You see, there's a lot of y'all that don't be understanding. All of this conversation about, oh, yeah, they're going to draft Mendoza. They about to do this. They about to do that. They got this dude. Is he a franchise quarterback? Let me tell you something. The way real ones understand certain things is this. Remember we talked about hip hop and competition. When you get on the same track as somebody and you a feature, your job is to go all the way in. If Drake and J. Cole is on the same track, they competing. If Kendrick and the Clips is on the same track, they competing. If Pusha and Malice is on the same track, they competing. If Jay-Z is on a track, he's competing with whoever. And this is just like hip-hop. We know that Shedeur Sanders is not competing realistically against the Buffalo Bills. But we know one thing. He always seems to step up when the lights is the brightest. And the quickest way to shut people up and to get people off your CD, hey, let me talk to you real quick, Shedeur. Shedeur, come on, let me talk to you real quick. Thought I was going to let you go, didn't you? Game wasn't over. Hey, you want to get these dudes off your backs? Get these dudes off your CD? Come out here and cook. But cook in a different way, though. Cooking that poise. Cooking them completions. Show them the whole package. See, they think that they only seen one little piece of it. They ain't seen the whole package. They ain't seen. You really ain't. The funny part, you ain't really even put the whole game together yet. You come out here and you sustain these drives. You come out here and you get to your back foot and you hit your releases. You come out here and still have the Isaiah Bond. You still come out here and have the deep shots. You come out here and still be able to understand the football game, get rid of it when you need to, be efficient. And you come out here and do it against a guy like Josh Allen, who looks like he's going to be one of the league MVPs, one of the best quarterbacks. And then when you dap him up at the end of the game, you play so well that Josh Allen got to come search you out, trotting across the field. You might lose that game. But you play so well, and you play with so much energy, and you play with so much exuberance, and you elevate the team around you so much that 17 got to come over there and find 12 and say, and make him cover his mouth too. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, man, you're a ball player. I don't care what none of them folks say. Keep doing your thing, bro. Keep doing your thing, young bro. You play like a young me. Listen, it took me 3 years to get where I'm at right now. You keep going. Don't let them steal that energy. You got whatever you need. I appreciate you. Big bro. Yeah. No, listen, I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to get like you. That's what you do. And when they put them numbers up side by side, here's Josh Allen. Here's Shedeur Sanders. And when them numbers is comparable, we're not trying to hear nothing about no quarterback. See, we might know. I know. The Cleveland Browns have probably seen all they needed to see. If you Andrew Berry, I didn't set up a perfectly in a case study to tell you why it is exactly. Why it is exactly. They already seen it. But you can go ahead and overdo it. Put it out of reach. Put it out of contention. Put it out of the question. See, sometimes you got to pop up and remind dudes, in the words of Kendrick Lamar. I got to remind you sometimes. Because every single time that I come out here and deliver for you, you get amnesia. Every single time I show you something, you find me another stat. Well, find this stat. This is what Josh Allen did in the football game with a better roster and a playoff team. And this is what I did with all my people out finding with the hungry dogs. I got to always keep reminding you. Like my brother came and told me, we want you to be efficient, but don't forget who you is. Don't forget what your secret weapon is. Your secret weapon is you might let that thing go. You're not afraid to let it go. But you could do two things at once. Get in that rhythm, get in that tempo, more first downs, more completions. Match the wits, not just the throws. Understand what you need to do to keep your football team in this football game. I like what Jameis Winston told you. It's all about winning. And great quarterbacks manage the game. The best part about LeBron James is this. Peak LeBron James understood what he needed to do in each and every game to keep his team in the game. And he always kept this in the trump card was always here. The trump card is, I can get it done. The trump card is, listen, all else fails, I'm going to make something happen when everything's fair, all else fails. But your goal is to keep the game close. You see, if you want to play spoiler, Josh Allen in the game plan for the Buffalo Bills is to come out in this football game and they want this thing to be over quickly. They would like you to be down 21-3. They would like you to be down 21-0, 17-3. They would like that. Because you know why? If you're the Buffalo Bills and your goal is the Super Bowl, your goal is to get out of there with nobody injured and Josh Allen good. No. What you want to do as a quarterback is you want to dictate the rules of engagement. You want to make sure that we're going to make this a bloody affair. We're going to bloody your nose a little bit. We're going to make it nasty. And my job is to keep my team on the football field. And the longer I stay on the football field, that means Josh Allen ain't on the field. And when I get done with my drives, I want to score in points. So in that third quarter, when they could have Josh Allen sitting there handing the ball to James Cook with a 28-10 lead, and it's cold outside, and they just trying to warm the buses up, your goal is to have that game in a winnable game with about 8 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. And Josh Allen got to have his whole playbook. He got to use his whole playbook. He got to evade the rush. He got to make some first downs. He got to move the sticks. You put the pressure on him. But to do that, you got to make sure that you extend your plays and your drives, and you put the pressure back on him. You may not win the game, but your job against a playoff team is to make their life tough. And that first quarter, the closer it is at halftime, the closer it is that you can get guys to believe in you. By the way, your defense is going to play inspired if the game is closer. You can't let it come out there like the last couple of weeks where you let the Tennessee Titans jump out 14. You let the Bears jump out 14. No, you get down there and get you some points. You sense that. And show that urgency. If they watch you and you urgent about winning, you should play this football game like you ain't got no more time left. You got 3 more games. You don't know what's going to happen. You got 3 more games. You better play it with an urgency and a passion that it ignites on these dudes, that make them understand, listen, this game is important for us. We're not coming out here to sign autographs for Josh Allen. We're not coming out here to be the Buffalo Bills whipping boys. We out here, this ain't a scrimmage. We out here to win a game. And the longer that game is close, the longer that you stay in their mind, the more difficult it's going to be. And that's what you need to do for this game. Don't let people telling you in this media tell you these games ain't nothing to watch. They be doing that just to lull you to sleep so you can say, see, he ain't it. They be, oh, these don't really count. This ain't an evaluation. You don't listen to that. No, this the only 3 you promised. And that is the keys to victory for the Cleveland Browns versus the Buffalo Bills. Let's get to the super chats. Let's get to it. Nubian. Nah, you had it right the first time, G. This is a black platform. Man, we a multicultural platform. Man, we got black folks, white folks. You always tell, I laugh and joke. I say, black people just a little more pronounced. You ever notice you go, if it's 2 to 3 black people anywhere, 2 to 3 black people is going to be more loud than any other place, right? We just conglomerate a little different. Shout out to them. Let's see. Eric, 23 ATL, thank you, G. Bush. I appreciate you. I thank you guys for pulling up. We all over the place. Star Player 901. OG Browns fans are traumatized. People are afraid to give their all in a relationship out of fearing of being hurt again. That's not living. That's not living. And to be truthful, sometimes even I had a lot of bad relationships go awry. Sometimes you got to come back to and make the decision and look inside and say, let me look at myself. Did I have something to do? Maybe I was wrong in some of that. And after you mature a little bit, you get to a point like, yeah, I was kind of off kilter on some of that too. Some of the things that we do as Browns fans, we got unrealistic expectations, and we don't even understand what we was doing that really added into that. Like, some of the stuff is, yeah. I mean, you preach patience for 6 years for a coach, but then you want a quarterback to deliver you from 40 years of taking L's in 4 games? Come on. Carrie, Mr. Excitement. BX, New York Giants fan, love your Saturday morning show. It's like back in the waking up to Saturday morning cartoons like Kung Fu flicks. Keep speaking the truth. New fan. I appreciate you, man. But shout out to the BX. You know what I'm saying? Shout out there, man. Shout out to Hong Kong Fooey, too. Waking up, man. That's one of my cartoons, man. Got to wake up on Saturday morning. I love the Saturday morning feel. I actually be excited pulling up on y'all because sometimes I don't know who's going to be here, what we going to do, what we going to talk about. And by the way, this is all scripted. Ain't no notes. Where's the notes at? Ain't no notes. We just do it like that. So it's always exciting to talk to the people. Easy _Buck 3T. I'm starting to think Mason Graham was a waste of a pick. Some of the things about my analysis about a defensive tackle hold true. When you draft a defensive tackle as high as they drafted Mason Graham, you're going to have to understand that when you draft a tackle, you're drafting a position that is not going to be noticeable on that screen. It's not going to be noticeable from play to play unless you're a dominant defensive tackle like I always say Cortez Kennedy, Warren Sapp, some of the great defensive tackles like that. Even guys like Haloti Ngata, you know what I'm saying? Aaron Donald. Those guys are disruptive. They get sacks. They noticeable. It's kind of hard, man. So you got to be dynamic at number 5. I see what they was trying to do, but it also put them behind the 8 ball a little bit in terms of what they need to do offensively. And the Mason Graham pick is one of the reasons I feel like you don't even have a luxury of actually going after no tackle, no quarterback, because you're too deficient. I see some flashes from him, but that's a position you're not going to. It's hard to see that level of noticeability on your defense, especially when you got a guy like Myles Garrett. Great analytics versus the eye test. 75,000 sports fans ain't wrong. The Browns analytics for 6 years now, and it hasn't worked, just like the 2 points converting. Gray, you're 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct with this situation, with going on with the analytics stuff. It was cute for a while. And we've now seen analytics, and just to be honest with you, we've seen analytics be driven in all three sports, right? It started off with baseball, then it moved to basketball, and then they started telling you like analytics is a wave, and it's one of the biggest cons that I've ever seen, because teams have always used analytics. What do you think percentages are? We've always had field goal percentage and all these different things. Now it's to the point people are trying to tell you somebody good. That was the ultimate trick. Somebody is good or bad based on statistics when you're sitting there watching them play. Oh, he's an inefficient player. I watched inefficient players my whole life. Allen Iverson, inefficient. Guess what? He's the only person they had. He had to be inefficient. Hall of Famer. Stop trying to make these little things up where you telling us that we don't know what we're looking at. That's a justification to let you in the game. Because if you can't do, you say coach. If you can't do, be an analyst. But let's be clear. Come on now. The eye test is part of it. Set apart last. G. Bush, you know everybody listens to your show and they attack what you say here when you get on UCSS. That's okay. That's okay. That's why I just make it. I make the argument very compelling. You got all week to come up with it. We understand what the barbershop is. We understand how we get down. Feel free. I've never stopped one person. You know how many G-Bush sites is out there? I don't stop them from taking none of my stuff. Hey man, use it all you want to, dog. Because how I break it down, we ain't playing no games. You refute it. You ain't never heard G-Bush be mad at nobody. I can't believe you said my name. Let's have at it. Y'all ain't that crazy though, right? You don't want no smoke. You don't want no smoke. You don't even want no smoke. They'd be like, leave him alone. Let him go over there. Leave that boy alone. He was doing just fine on his own. Neil Gray. Jason and Jay spent an entire day using suspect data to discredit a fifth-round rookie and his third start when he broke Browns in NFL records. Now it's analytics. That's the thing. How is your analytics trumping history? I'm the only person to do this ever. But you got some like data that say it's crazy work. Crazy, right? Let me show y'all a little something. Let me figure this out. Let me get to it. Did I get rid of this? No, I didn't. I did it right. Hold on. Yeah. Let me check this out. You can go back to Peyton Manning, right? We always go to Peyton Manning's stats. Man, this dude threw 28, 30 some odd interceptions in his first year. All these interceptions, 30 interceptions. Nobody would even let you get to 30 interceptions now. I wonder what the advanced analytics said about him. JB Smooth 92. They went from 12 can't grasp NFL concepts to prove you're the franchise guy. He had zero consistency at any level of his NFL journey, yet they expect him to fix everything right now. They don't expect him to do that. I told you this. They know that. They don't expect him to fix it. These are just arbitrary objections. See, so you can't just say, I feel like this dude ain't good. I mean, that's what it boiled down to. Like, but you got to use some other stuff to figure it out the way it don't seem too crazy. Because, I mean, at this point, you know, when you continue to see the throws, and remember, it was, hey, what's the name of his franchise quarterback? He don't make no pro throws. Shedeur Sanders give you 3 to 4 throws every single week. That's like, dang, that's a crazy throw. Every single week on film. So you can't refute that. You got to go to something else, right? Got to. Patrick Williams. I don't understand when 12 got the player of the week, got the Himothy Award. Mary Kay nor Tony Grossi did not mention that moment for him. Cleveland's judging the young man like he's the second coming of Christ. Well, look, here's the thing, too. You don't got to do that. Here's what we can do. We don't got to do all that too much. Here's what we can do. We can just simply, because I always keep it up here. I always try to keep it up here so you guys, so people know, what's going on, and how it is that he's been playing very well. Let's take a look at this. I try to keep it every once in a while. What's this? I think this might be something. Now, when he was playing good, we're going to give that to Kevin Stefanski. The reason why Shedeur has learned as quickly as he is because all the extra Stefanski time he spent with him. What? Huh? Are we? But this after he threw for 360. As you can see, it's not about what he do. Because even when he does something, he's not going to get the credit for it. He didn't get credit for that. So it's not about the credit. You got to understand that. It don't matter what he say or do. He can throw for 500. The story would be Shedeur Sanders threw for 500 because just Kevin Stefanski be the head coach next year because he beat the Bills. He won't get credit for that. G. Bush, these people saying Sanders got all of his TDs off blown coverages. I was like, what? I was like, you want him to stop and say, hold on, guys. That's not the setup yet. I see what you're saying, doggy bone. By the way, let me tell you this. You guys aren't, there's most people that ain't qualified to even tell you what a blown coverage is. Again, I go do film reviews. We talk about the coverages. We show you them every single week. So where are these mythical blown coverages at? I would like you to show, oh, you don't watch the film. I would like, who told you that? Who told you it was a blown coverage? Oh, 2 people. Do I know these people? No, it's just got it. 3 people, three guys you know said it. Can you tell me? No. Okay. R-Mac Dog, G. Bush, when Jay, Adam, and Jason said no coach would touch Sanders with a 10-foot pole, what they're really saying is white coaches don't want to deal with the black celebrity internet icon, but no problem with Baker and Manziel. Here's what I'll say. And I came right back at him. If coaches don't want to deal with Shedeur Sanders and he could play football, I don't want him as my coach. This is where I come from with this. All of this talk that I'm bending over backwards for say unproven coach. This is the problem I got with ego and privilege. You are a coach. You are a coach who is either an unproven coach or a coach that is trying to get another head coaching job and is one of 32 in the entire world. If you have an inflated ego to the point where you can't go into a situation, establish a relationship and a rapport with a quarterback and try to get the most out of them, I don't want you as my coach. If you are a coach who says it's my way or the highway and does not understand that you have to come in, set relationships and build relationship and put players in the best place to make plays, I don't want you as my coach. If you're a coach that's coming in that says everybody got to move the way I move and it's my place, I don't want the owner I don't want you as my coach. I don't want you in my organization because you guys have a backwards way of thinking about the way the workplace works, jobs work, or any job works. This is not a dictatorship. This is a position where you're supposed to be collaborative to get the most and build a team, a cohesiveness, a unit. I work for you, you work for me. We all have skin in the game. We all work to a common goal. But it tells me you haven't played any team sports, because that's the way you view the coach and player relationship. It tells me that at the bare minimum, everything that we've learned by playing the game of football, basketball, baseball at a high level, the locker room, coach-player relationships, how things work, you don't understand them because you have an idea and an ideology that doesn't fit anywhere except for in the media. Why would you feel like you could come in as a person who has not proven a thing, tell me and the owner how we gonna move? You ain't proven nothing. You ain't won a game yet. And you sitting here telling me that I'm not going to take this job because of XYZ quarterback is sitting there. Instead of saying, I want to get to know the young man. I want to get to see who he is. I want the opportunity to work with him. I want the opportunity to see if I can get the best out of him. That's not you'll never be a coach. Frankly, you can't work a regular job at McDonald's because you can't even put the fries down. Where did they get y'all from? He wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. That's you talking. A lot of people seem confused. How come I could talk about Shedeur Sanders, that he's good or bad or indifferent for 4 or 5 hours, and I don't seem to be conflicted? We got people, I don't understand it. The Shedorians, they got me feeling a certain type of, he ain't got me feeling a certain type, nothing. I wake up happy, controlled, and talking about the game of football like I always do, whether it was Johnny Manziel, whether it was Baker Mayfield, whether it was Deshaun Watson, whether it was Tim Couch, whether it was, we could keep going. You got to ask why you are internally struggling. Why you losing sleep? Why you visibly stressed? Why you second guessing everything you say? I ain't had to pray on none of this. I had 5 people. I felt like I had 3, 4, 5 devastating things happen to me 2 weeks ago. You think I'm losing some sleep about a football game and who getting reps? Maybe we need to learn some life lessons. Ain't nothing on these platforms I'm going to say going to shake my foundation and what I do, how I believe, and what I move like. I ain't deactivating my Twitter. I'm not getting off of Facebook. I'm not blocking 10,000 people. I'm not skating. I ain't going to different grocery stores. I ain't doing none of that. Because I, on the other hand, understand who I am, understand what my compass is, and understand I stand on what I'm saying. Maybe if other people did that, Batman always said, what's a good night's sleep worth? As long as I can still sleep good at night, I don't care what nobody talking about. Thank you, Mike Dog. Lamina, G. Bush, you know I have been all over the Browns O-line performance since 2023 season. You are correct. We've been talking. This is another reason why when we come over here, the content's different. We've been consistent about this stuff since 2023. So there has been no switching up. And if you look at Shedeur Sanders might have been in Jackson State in 2023. He was still at Colorado, but we've been talking about these things prior to any Shedeur conversation. This is how we've been getting down. Say I'm wrong. Black Angus, I remember hearing Bernie Kosar 19 say the quarterback is a beneficiary of what is around him. Build a team around Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel and see what happens. See, you see, we ain't all crazy. The quotes is out there. Shout out to Bernie. He been going through it. He ain't been able to come on to grace the stage and drop that knowledge. The game been missing it. But he says it all the time. Excuse me, the quarterback is the beneficiary of the situation around him, not vice versa. It's too many people that is steak eaters. I'm tired of these coaches and general managers and media dudes being steak eaters. You say, what's a steak eater? Everybody that done play ball know what a steak eater is. We going to practice. You going to practice. The ones and the twos is putting all the work in. You out there practicing, doing everything, and you got the little young dudes. They ain't practicing. They laughing in the back of the bus. They ain't even really worried about what's going on in the game because they young sophomores and freshmen, and they like, I got 3 more years, I'll worry about it then. And you playing hurt, you playing injured, but then they want to be the first ones to go to pregame meal. They the first one to talk about where we going for pregame meal at. Why? Because we going to Texas Longhorn. You want to? Nah, bro. We don't need no steak eaters. We need people that's going to put that work in. If you want to be on pregame meal, you want to eat the team meal, you want to get all the spoils of war, I need you to have some skin in the game. We ain't trying to have no steak eaters. We need people putting in work. And it's time out for people suggesting that these coaches who don't draw nothing up and develop, they ain't being innovative on the offensive side of the football. The clock management is poor. You can't call timeouts on time. All of this stuff. And you telling me they need a franchise quarterback. So you meaning to tell me I got to have a dude like Stefanski, they got to have a top 5 quarterback. You want a top 5 offensive line. He don't have to have a good play, but they want to run high school bootlegs. Then when he get into press conferences, he says dumb stuff or don't say nothing at all. We just got to be better. His personality is like a can of paint drying. He don't motivate his team, but yet and still you do sit up in front of him and say he needs all of these things. Why? That's a steak eater. What is he bringing to the table? When is he going to be responsible for a win or a good play? Or he outcoached the coach on the other side. You want, well, these jobs aren't good because there's no quarterback. Did he develop one? Some of y'all are single, talk about, I need a good man. No, you don't deserve a good man. You don't. You didn't treat the last one good. Some of y'all, I need a good woman. No, you don't. You don't need no good woman. You ain't looking for no good woman. You're looking for the fastest thing moving. You want them to be light on the eyes. You want to wear a size 2. You want everything, bro. You want to wear a size 2. She got to cook. You got to be nice. But then you don't even go out nowhere. He asks 2 questions to you. You mad. See, this is what I'm talking about. You talk too much. You don't need no good woman. The Cleveland Browns, no. Put your work in. You have to put your work in and to cultivate and add some to the table. Y'all guys don't be adding nothing to the table. And you just carrying a coach for no reason. He ain't did nothing. Jihad Oglesby, G-Bush salute. Your boy Jason revealed his hate and said Josina Shador and his brother can make Instagram videos at the other end of the field. Why you mad? Look, man. I always tell people like this. First and foremost, my job ain't to judge whether or not I believe every single person what their sources are saying. Here's how I can only go by what I judge. Here's how I can only go by what I judge. I know Josina Anderson have been in the business a very long time. I know Josina Anderson has worked for a lot of different platforms and outlets. I know Josina Anderson has been a journalist in this business. The same professional courtesy I give Tony Grossi, Mary Kay, Aditi, Chris Rose, I give her the same professional courtesy. My job is not to analyze and to delve in whether or not I believe who her sources are and how her sources move and if these are accurate sources. That's not my job. My job is to deliver what I believe to be true and what I believe to have an opinion based or have an opinion on. If I'm not going to judge their sources, I'm not judging her sources. Because frankly, I've always said to start with, my job ain't to be no journalist. My job is to tell you how I feel about it and to create what I'm bringing. So as far as I'm concerned, and I can only speak for me, my job is not to judge whose sources is more credible than the others. Because at the end of the day, that's not what I bring to the table. So I'm going to give her the same professional courtesy as I give everybody who comes on. And I'm not going to be running SourceGate. I ain't digging through and combing through. You said, I'm going to believe what you said the same way I believe what you said. I still don't got no names from none of y'all, but I'll give you that courtesy. And that's where G. Bush stands. Bianca. Nah, Jay was out of pocket. His bias showed. He's trying to control who you support. He did the same thing to Earl to Pearl. I gave DG a C- in his first game. Well, here's the thing. The great thing about me is nobody controls what I support or do. As you can see, I didn't have no problem when he asked me that question. I just made you expound on it. Hey, what you mean by that? I wanted to give him an accurate answer. That's what I like to do. Hey, if you want to talk about culture, the barbershop about the culture. I can't get frustrated if somebody mentioned the word culture, but I can't educate you on what I'm talking about. Hey, listen. Jay-Z said, show him how to move in a room full of vulture. Industry shady need to be taken over. I'm overcharging them for what they did to the Cold Crush. I'm just letting y'all know, bro. Like, you can't get me. I was, listen, like Bane said, I was born in darkness. I live in it. I was born in the culture. I am the culture. How you can't frustrate me. I came up in these streets. We do this in barbershops every single week. It's the name of the show. You get challenged in the barbershop every week. You get challenged on the playground. You get challenged in the lunchroom. You get challenged on the corner. You get challenged in the club. We challenge everything. Even Bill Cosby got challenged. He even got challenged. One of the greatest episodes of all time. Even he got challenged. It's all good. Our gal media loves Dion too much and haven't been honest. They don't be honest a lot too, man. Bingo charm. Can we get Desmond Watson on the Browns D tackle or offensive tackle? I would take him. I don't know if we can. I don't know if we going how we gonna move with it. Eddie George, 27. Shador leads the NFL with quarterback pressure, 47%. Second is 27. But they'll tell you, Eddie George, man, actually the advanced stat said that Shador had the most. If you take the windshield factor and then you take that and you square that by the speed of light, and then you send that speed of light through the vacuum of space in a prism, and then you subtract 3 from it, that means the Browns had the most time to throw the ball, to be truthful, though. Neil Gray, Jason Grossi, Mary Kay don't have the same energy for the Stefanski as they have Shador. Why don't they critique the NFL play call because let me just tell you, this is easy. I'll give you the example. Because they have to work with these people. Because they and this is why I say, when you go to the stadium, right? And I try to explain this to Darren a lot too. Because Darren's like, yo, you gotta go to the office, man. You gotta go there to talk to the players. They gotta talk to the players. You gotta be in there. It's a different environment. Here's the reality. I do believe there is some things that you can do by going to the there are certain things that you can gain by player relationships and different things and getting to know the players. But I also believe that there's also a whole level of indoctrination that goes on. When you are a beat reporter, you spend 90% of your time with the team. You spend 90% of your time with other beat reporters. You spend 90% of your time in the organization delivering, writing what they are disseminating. You can't watch practice. You're not taking film at practice, and you're waiting to talk to the players. And it's this chamber of information. You know what I like to do? I don't have no time for all that. I don't need to sit around you to know that this is false. This ain't it. I don't need all that time. I'd rather go formulate what I'm going to do and disseminate and give it to the people. I don't got to be there 96% of the time. Because if I'm there 96% of the time hearing what they want me to hear, seeing what they want me to see, how is that different from the state-run media? That's propaganda, bro. I ain't got no time to be sitting back up here posted up with that propaganda all week. No. The reason they don't come out and say it is because it's hard to come out and say a bunch of stuff about somebody and then have to go see them the very next day and be like, yeah, I told you. Yeah, I said you was getting fired yesterday and you didn't know what's going on. But let me ask you about this question about your third down play against the Bears. You think they're going to give you something? It's contentious. Beat reporters are in the building more than they are where they don't actually, the way journalism works, there is no building anymore. No one's going to the plain dealer and sit at a desk. These are remote jobs. They either go to Berea or the house or the game in the house. So these are coworkers and colleagues. That is the reason why it's very difficult to call people out by name and still have a relationship, because that's the nature of being a journalist. Me, I just tell my opinion. I'm never going to Kevin Stefanski and asking him 75 questions that he's not going to give me an answer to. For what? RJ3097. Look at Kenny Pickett's stats. Oh, by the way, them Kenny Pickett stats look great. Looking good. It's not. Eddie George 27. Shador is third in sack avoidance at 17%. By the way, you notice they stopped saying all that stuff about him not being able to move. He's not his father. He's not even that crazy an athlete. No, he's faster than you. Joint DMBA. Thank you, Jay, for asking G. Bush about the culture question. Shows this disdain for Shador. It's culture, not his talent. And I explained to you. Are you like the crazy thing that people try to act like? I'm like, bro, let me ask y'all a question. Listen, guys, black folks, we know a lot of famous people. I'm from Canton, Cleveland. My house, I can see the Pro Football Hall of Fame from my bedroom window. I'm not starstruck. We've seen Michael Jordan before. Grew up in the Jordan. Hey, listen, LeBron James grew up down the street, like by his school, Canton, Akron. Not starstruck. We in our community hold Michael Jackson to a high esteem. If you've seen Michael Jackson, you're not starstruck. I don't understand where y'all came up with this. You guys like Shador Sanders because he's a celebrity. Yeah, we kind of, black people kind of do have a lot of this entertainment thing. If you haven't noticed, we have a lot of famous entertainers and famous people. So I don't think starstruck is the right thing. We like him because we think he can play. How's about that be a novelty? DB Dog, excuse me. It's like our fans want to stay in constant state of misery. One question to the haters. We'll tell everything, G. Do you want Shador Sanders to develop into a franchise quarterback? Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. That's going to take a long pause, too. Because if you were to ask that question about anybody, the answer should be yes. Even if it was Dylan Gabriel. Would you like Dylan Gabriel to develop into a franchise quarterback? The answer should be yes. Because if he's a franchise quarterback, that means the Cleveland Browns are good no matter who it is, right? That's a good question. That's one of the best. I got you in a minute. Always Jay Twist. For a coach that's an Ivy Leaguer, he sure does make a lot of idiotic decisions. Man, I know a lot of book smart, nonsensical dudes. I mean, his short yardage package is crazy. It's nasty work. The stuff he be trying to do on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, boy, it's on another level. Lethal Gaming. When did we start caring whether a coach gets a job after he gets fired? Browns fans will lose no sleep if Kevin Stefanski gets fired. NFL media is so work. Thank you. That is a media-created narrative. That is a media-created trope that is used based on relationships with media members and said coaches. You don't speak for us. It ain't never been a fan that cared nothing about nobody that got fired. They got over Nick Chubb, and he scored touchdowns for us. You think they won't get over Kevin Stefanski that only won 6 games? No one keeps pictures of Marty Schottenheimer, God rest his soul, Bud Carson, Eric Mangini. There's no Rod Chinzinski photos in people's man caves, bro. What are we talking about with this? When did it be? Shout out to Lethal Gaming. Appreciate you being a member too. Alexander Gallant. The Browns are perfect position to build the offensive line and receiver at a linebacker for special teams. It's easy. Lots of us have seen it. Lots of people have been on it. They've come to that realization. Not that bad. Joint DMBA. There's plenty of coaches willing to take the Browns head coaching job. It ranks 3rd for a reason, and Shedeur Sanders has something to do with that. Just go ask Greg Cosell, who gives his honest Shedeur Sanders film breakdown, bunk Chase Daniels. I think Chase Daniels does some things too. I mean, Chase has said that, Shedeur has made some nice throws or whatever the case may be, but the reality of the situation for people to be acting like teams are going to turn down the Browns job because Shedeur is so bad after he just broke records is ridiculous. Like, come on, dude. Niche speaking, the media hates any player who causes fans to dig in their narratives and lies. The media been helping make misevaluations look right for favors. Whoop. Now I don't want to go to the pay for play. But people don't get access for free, right? You think you just get access because people like you? Come on, man. People are spinning an evaluation in a heartbeat, and we can all tell who talked to who. They will do it. G. Bush, if you were Black Angus, if you were the GM, what you drafted first, offensive line or receiver, a la the Bengals, that when they grabbed Chase or when they needed O-line help? Here's the way I'm thinking about it. Offensive linemen are not rated as higher as the receiving core. The 2 highest rated receivers I got is Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate. When you take a look at some of the offensive linemen that you got, I believe there's 4. And I just started doing the evaluation on the offensive linemen. The offensive linemen out of Miami and the offensive linemen from Alabama, they played tackle, but I think they got guard bodies. I think they don't have the footwork to play tackle in the league. Francis Moaga, I don't think he has it. In the two tackles, the right tackle and the left tackle, both they could be first round picks from Utah. I actually don't have to feel that they got the physical power to play tackle at the league, and they play soft a little bit to me. I think that, and when you watch the tape against against Texas Tech, against their defensive line, they got destroyed. So I got a high. You still going to have to take somebody. I would rather take one of the guards. There's a guard from Texas A&M that I think got some decent feet. There's a guard from Penn State that I've been watching. He got some nice solid. He got a nice punch to him. But to me, I wouldn't take a guard that high in the top 10. I could get him later in the first round. I'm between Cardinal Tate and Jordan Tyson. And right now, Jordan Tyson would be my pick if they had him. And then I'm gonna take an offensive line with that second joint. Sell more fuck. Don't hurt them, G. Bush. They can't handle the truth. No matter how you cook it for them, they love the Kool-Aid through and through. We appreciate you, Sell more fuck. LJ Cash won when Jason said Belichick wife can cheerlead on the sideline while Shador Brothers streams decide why he gets hate. Bull is cool though. Man, look, man. I always tell people, man. I don't know, man. I don't know why Shador Sanders riles people up. I mean, we mean why his brothers can stream on the sideline. Actually, his brothers in Well Off Media is a media company, and they running up numbers. I think Well Off Media is actually somebody that people is actually scared of. If you think you drill down on it a little bit, Well Off Media stands for a company where players are taking back the narrative. If you own your own media company, why would you do outside interviews? You wouldn't, because you can control your own narrative. You can control whatever platform you go on. And now players more than ever are starting to control that. So that's a thing where it's a little threatening to some. Not saying it's threatening to Jason or whatever the people may be. Not mentioning no name specifically, but legacy media has changed. Legacy media is different. The access is different. The rules of engagement is different. So that rubs people a little bit the wrong way because, frankly, you in competition with legacy media. A lot of it is. A lot of the stuff I do right here, people be hating. They don't want to see people talking like that. I'm not even supposed to be talking like this. But people don't understand the game is different. It just is. Alexander Gallant. Stefanski has Dylan at quarterback. Mary Kay can't save Kevin Stefanski's job. I think that they've already stopped trying to do that. After the Bears game, it kind of looked like Kevin was a little bit defeated. He like, man, the ship is sailed. But I don't feel, he ain't crazy. Kevin Stefanski just got a new contract a couple of years ago. Him and his whole family will be straight, and the way that the network and the relationships work, he'll get a job somewhere else and either do well or do fine or whatever, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't got nothing to do with what the Browns are doing. So I ain't never hated on him and say I want him to never get another job ever again. Hey, man, bro, I want everybody to be employed and gainfully employed. That's the American dream, right? OG Powers, 88. G, you just gave me flashbacks when I broke my thumb, leaning all the way to the left. Coach popped it back in, played 2 games before I got a cast. This is the stories we want to hear from. People don't got them stories. And you had to take yourself to school the next day. We look at other people. Yeah, my son has a sore throat. He can't go to school. Bro, I done broke my hand and I got to play in practice. Couldn't even get no doggone cast. It's the difference between civilians and players. OG Powers, Doggy Bone. Tim Couch's career early behind the horrendous O-line, and he was the number 1 pick here. People don't never learn. Why you think Tim Couch don't be coming back like that? I'll just tell you, Tim Couch, he ain't got no good relationship with the way things popped off in Cleveland. He ain't giving no O-line. Got booed when he was down on the ground. Like, people be doing the same stuff over and over again. You name me one quarterback that be coming back here, be like, besides Bernie. We ain't seen Brian Sipe. Tim Couch ain't coming back like that. We just now got Brian Hoyer, but doggone, he spent half his time with the New England Patriots. Neil Gray. Shador called Jameis Winston for advice. Jameis could give it to him. Jameis is a good leader. Jameis give young OGs a lot of game. He give him a lot of game. Why is the coach excused by quarterback, but quarterback isn't by Kevin Stefanski? Well, because that's not where the allegiance lies. The allegiance lies with the head coach. They're making the long play. Usually the head coach be here for a longer period of time than players in and out. But if Shador Sanders becomes the franchise quarterback, that allegiance will change real quick. Them articles is already ready to go. Shador is him. They just playing the game. Always just a twist. The G. Bush Ministries never miss, man. We appreciate you always, J Twist. We appreciate you, my guy. And thank you so much for becoming a member and part of the team. Part of the family, should I say. Lord of the Drip. I bet we get 2 to 3 quarterbacks that the media just starts hyping out of nowhere after about a month before the draft. Quarterbacks never heard of. Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's coming, Lord of the Drip. Like the dudes, like it's going to be, by the way, it's going to be remember what I tell you. But this is an opportunity. This is why you watch the Barbershop, because just because film review is done because the Browns don't play, we're going to be doing film review of the college coaches and college dudes as well. You think G. Bush just got the all 22 for the Browns? I got the all 22 for every single college game. All of them. All of them. So if you want to see whether or not somebody nice or what these guards going to be talking about or who you should draft, Wednesday nights is still going to be film nights. This is even more of a reason you need to be a member, because when they tell you about who's good and who ain't, we're going to be right here on Wednesday. So about no. G. Bush already done showed us. We got the film work. Did you see him play against Texas A&M? That Texas A&M film is nasty work. We ain't stopping nowhere. As a matter of fact, that's where it kick up. Draft season, you're going to be wanting to pull up. We ain't just stop. This ain't no Johnny come lately. Pull up. You want that? Matter of fact, put that link if you want to become a member. The film review is just the film review is just the biggest part. I mean, we talk about a lot of different stuff. We still got gas, but the film review is what you need. OG Powers, if you never have gotten your hand hit so hard between 2 helmets and you start walking off limping, you can't tell me nothing about football. Facts. When that pain in your hand, when you get your hand hit and it just triggers something in the left side of your body, and you like, why is my legs? And when you don't, all you could do is do the Stevie Wonder. All you could do is be Stevie Wonder. Where you don't tell me about no game. Please don't do it. Big 1J. I talk to a couple of my friends every time. I'm picking up what you putting down. Big J, you funny. The Cleveland media fighting their own change. They fight their own change required to stay relevant. They have to upskill their knowledge to maintain integrity and views. Shador won't be the last to bring the spotlight. They owe Shador a Christmas gift. Nita, you right. You right. That was cold. What y'all really did is you brought the spotlight, and because Shador Sanders is a spotlight, when you illuminate something, it brings certain things to the table. Like, you know what I'm saying? Before we could hide, it's just the Browns. We talk about the Browns. We could talk about a lot of generalities, but a lot of people's now combing through people's comments and now it's like, bro, is you really knowledgeable what you're talking about? Are you talking in generalities? Are you being well informed? Are you bringing new ideas to the table? That could be kind of intimidating. Sheesh, that was a good one. Man, that was crazy. JB Smooth, 92. One guy took a 1-11 team to a 9-4, beat TCU, beat Baylor. The other dude turned a 5-7 team into a 4-8 team, then a 6-7, then transferred to an 11-2 team by a quarterback on a partially torn ACL the year before. It's funny how they're going to try to spin the college and what it is, the college impact is. Because they've already tried to diminish that with Shedeur Sanders. Like, oh, that don't count. This don't count. This don't count. All those things are a thing too. But let me start by saying I do think Mendoza can be good. But is he somehow some sort of slam dunk better than Shedeur Sanders? No. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I don't think you can't tell me right now that he's just better than Shedeur Sanders. Come on, man. It's a reach, bro. I just seen Shedeur Sanders throw for 360. What are we talking about? I see him throw bombs every week. What are you talking about, man? I seen him do this against real NFL players. Set apart lads. Been watching your contact before UCSS. Still fire. We've been over here for a long time. What is it, 2014? When did we start this channel? 20 what? We've been doing YouTube for a very long time, 2014. I think Shedeur might have been in what? Elementary school? We still cooking. Thank you for being a part of our growth and our journey. Set apart last. 80s Brazil. Well-off media can be so much more than Colorado news. If Bucky backs at least 4 podcasters covering Shedeur and the Browns, it'll wipe Cleveland media. We'll never have to watch. This guy just gave, you can't give them you just gave them a blueprint like that? This is crazy. I think too, well-off media, I've always said, there's always enough for people to eat. Every platform. That's why a lot on my channel, I bring up a lot of independent people. A lot of independent people. I shout out people. I shout out young podcasters. I shout out everybody. Shout out to my man Big Snacks, man. We're going to have Big Snacks back on too. FB Team, shout out to him. Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. What's up, man? Quincy Carey, what's good? Earl, you know what I'm saying? Darren, we listen. We still gonna do all that. We still gonna do our. So it's space in a place for everybody. It's just the fact that everybody got to support everybody. Everybody, you can't get to a point because the regular media try to tell you what y'all doing is, hey, G Bush, you G Bush now. You don't even need to be even doing some of that stuff. You need to just do you and just, play it corporate. You know what I'm saying? Nah, show love. Show love. Show love. Put people on. I'll order the G Bush start selling personalized exhortation, inspiration, motivations. I'm buying. I'm just trying to be, hey, the Lord say, I just give him what he's telling me. What he giving me is free of charge. Doggy Bone. So if we want Andrew Berry to get, if we thinking if Andrew Berry gets promoted, then like you stated, what you think about Rand Carthon, the former GM of the Titans from earlier, to be the GM? Hey, bro, I ain't got no problem with it. I like to see his thought process, because I like what he's talking about, because a lot of people won't talk economics. The economics of it is the Cleveland Browns don't have the money to go out to get a number 1 receiver. They're going to have to draft one. I like the fact that he's like, listen, guys, stop trying to go out here and cut corners. J-Mac Too Fresh, salute G. Bush, Shedeur Timothy Sanders is legendary. The Bills' secondary isn't that good. 12 will do. Good. Double wrist up. We appreciate you. P. Rothstein, just checking in, G. I gotta start it for the bidding and keep cooking. These no nothing lames. The eye test is the only test. We appreciate you, man. P. Rothstein been down since day 1. Miss Melanator, defense doesn't protect the quarterback, the offensive line does. The quarterback can't catch the ball, run or kick the ball. No one else can win with this team. Facts. How's about we draft some other people? He need to be blocking for himself. They be moving this stuff around. Slick as butter. I received my barbershop t-shirt, thanks, and I can't wait to watch the Browns' last 3 games. And once it's officially over, Shedeur Sanders named the starter, and we have all offseason, my boy, to watch out for Shedeur Hemmingsley Sanders has arrived. Thank you so much, Slick as butter. Let us know if your birthday is past. Hit us up. If you are a member, you're at the top level. If you're at the platinum membership and you did your birthday passed this last year and you did not and you signed up late in the fall, give us a hit up. 5th Dimension Media 1 at gmail.com. Everybody gets a birthday gift from us. 5th Dimension Media 1 at gmail.com. We will get that and send that out to you ASAP. Hit us up and let us know when your birthday is and your information, your shirt size, and we'll get that to you. Miss Melanie, can you make stats say anything? The stats are for fantasy football and gambling. The first negative is always Shedeur Sanders fan base. The fan base makes the Browns a lot of money, $250 million in jerseys. Something tells me I don't know why people would not want a guy that's popular, a guy that young fans can get into, a guy that gets you on TV, and a guy that actually can play. I don't see what the problem is here, people. You make it make sense to me. Living with the crib. Living with Eric B. There it is, 5430. 12 playing a 5 versus 7. The extra time is a myth. 4-man rush. There you go. We see somebody that understands the game all that extra time. He's not being blitzed. No, that means they're getting home with 4. Yeah, I did all that. You could have just called me and I could have debunked that in real time for you. Stop wasting your time with all these advocacies in advanced analytics, and I could have told you why he got the time. Jab 9237. Before Shedeur needs reps. Too raw. Let him sit after 4 games. Rookie of the week. ESPN Hemothy Award. Franchise records. NFL records. Burrows, Rodgers, company. Same quarterback. Now different excuses. They be coming with him. And that is a very eloquent line. You got to listen, this is crazy. Can I borrow this? She got the emojis. She has the records and the stat emoji, the clown emoji, the trophy for rookie, the needs reps. Nah, you playing too much. That's legit. That's a Himothy. That's a Shimothy. Oh, J Mac too fresh. Pierce is head coach, Leftwich is O corner, Callahan and handled offensive line run game coordinator. What do you think? Double risk up. I wouldn't mind Pierce. I like him. He can get people to play. I like Leftwich as a coordinator. I love Bill Callahan coming back. No problems for me there. No problems for your boy, Don Peasy Weezy. Even if he got his touchdowns off blown coverage, isn't that the job as a quarterback to find blow coverage and exploit it? People say that they don't know. People who say that don't know football. Why would I care what it came off of? Ain't it funny? So you want your games to be won playing all playoff teams who made no mistakes, who had crazy defenses, had mad turnovers, and you want them to, you had Grizzly Bears as defensive linemen, had Hercules and Jackie Chan at cornerbacks. You want all of that. You want it the hardest way possible to win, and that's the only way it counts. Y'all cast and lost your mind. I don't care if my little niece is out there playing. If she in the NFL and she getting a check, I'm taking all spoils. Don't get online playing G. Bush and Madden. I don't care. You should. If you got internet and you got and you somehow is online, you count. I'm taking all dubs. Well, he was 13 and he just got done doing homework. He's a grown man. He's a grown man that gets smoked in Madden, in my eyes. David Walker. If anyone should get credit for Shedeur Sanders, will be Bill Musgrave. He's one of the few quarterback coaches that is a Super Bowl winner. His relationship with Coach Prime is legendary. So read up Super Bowl. Prime was the reason why Musgrave played in it. I remember him telling that story. And Bill Musgrave was one of the guys in one of the videos I played that said, if Shedeur gets credit for anything, it's because of their hard work and what he did, not nobody else. He's put in a lot of work to get where he needs to be. OG fan, I'm 31. I don't know. G, I believe 12 want to bring a bowl to the Browns, but it's kind of hard to believe the Browns will pick the right coach and do all the right things to surround him to build a winning culture. That's part of why the NFL is so hard, because you got to pick the right person, and you can have one or two people blocking you in your way. And it's a miracle that Shedeur even got on the field this year, because Kevin Stefanski wasn't planning on playing him. You see how many things had to happen to be move people out the way before he can even get a shot. And even when he got a shot and did something nobody else did, they still talk about we need to get him in. What? It's crazy. Doggy Bone, I'm yelling from the mountaintop. Brian Flores, head coach, Bieniemy, offensive coordinator, wide receiver coach Larry Fitz, Josh Chris, special teams coach, Bill Callahan, O-line coach. I wouldn't have no problem with it. I wouldn't have no problem. See note stacks. G, you do know the coach's wife is the daughter of the announcer Deion threw the water on. Dylan had the same agent as Kevin, saying everything that's saying everything adds up. I don't know if that's accurate. I didn't heard that. I seen that on the internet, but also seen where that wasn't truthful. Like it's not. It's like a little. It's the name is kind of like it, but not really. So it's like, nah, that's not. I don't think that's the same person. It's just a mix up because the names, and it's some similar names, but I don't think that's the case. Big Snacks G, shout out to Big Snacks. We just talked about you, big dog. Get Ty Simpson versus Mendoza next week. Let's see how the Browns personnel will be. How many personnels will be at the game? Ty Simpson versus Mendoza. Let's see it. We're gonna figure it out. Ty Simpson then kind of disappeared a little bit. He done disappeared a little bit. Mendoza, we gonna see what he talking about. Because now all these games is on TV. We're going to get a chance to see him. I don't even know how to say this. Prano Karaoke. This is an audition for Shedeur Sanders for the showcase. How is he an option in 26 in front of Joe Brady as head coach for the Browns? He has great concepts at the run game. I do agree. I agree like this. I agree that these games are relevant and that there's a great opportunity to put something on tape. And he's auditioning for the next coach. And he's also auditioning, if he comes out and plays well against the Buffalo Bills and he could come out here and do this against a playoff team, that goes a long way in shutting down a lot of this noise. Even in a losing effort, if he can come out here with the deficiencies they got against against Josh Allen, that goes a long way in saying, hey, I should be the guy. Well, I think we had a great show today. We appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure you check us out. Guess what? We still will be having a what? A watch party. If you're interested, watch the game with G. Bush. The watch party will be tomorrow for the Browns game. This is going to be our third week in a row, man. We've had a great opportunity over there. Make sure you catch us up with us. We'll start at about 12:30-ish. We'll give you a little bit of pregame show. We'll continue to give you pregame, get you ready to go from the Bills all the way up to kickoff. We'll be through the entire game through halftime. We'll give you stats, analysis with your boy G. Bush. And don't forget, after we're done with that, kick right over to the UCSS post game. We will not be doing the McNuggets won't be there. You're on vacation. It'll be me, Anthony, Earl, the Pearl. So me and Earl will be there on the post game show. Let's get ready to go. Let's get ready for this Browns game. Make sure you catch this up. Start right here, 12:30, right here on the Barbershop. We got one more super chat. We don't let no super chat go. David Walker. I've done the research. The father-in-law thing is very real. You just are hating. I don't know. We don't even seen that. We got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Here's what I say to this. Sometimes you can have a bias against somebody and it don't even have nothing to do with the water thrown on somebody. Sometimes you could just be getting it wrong. Kevin Stefanski don't need no extra excuses as to why he does not need to be the coach of the Cleveland Browns. With that being said, you never know where you might show up, radio, television, internet, but you want the fresh cut on sports, you know where to find me. I always keep the Clippers on me, and as always, even though I be talking about them, But as always, the main goal is go Browns. Have a good rest of your Saturday. Peace.